Good morning, everybody. Yes, I got the elbows moving because I started my day off doing some exercise and I'm feeling good, feeling muscle groups activated. It's the weekend. Aren't you feeling great? It's a wonderful time to be alive. No black pill here. We are going to be positive, we're going to be excited, and we're going to cover the wacky world of news. Even if we get frustrated, even if we can't make hide nor hair of what is occurring in this universe, we bring our brains together to educate each other in real time. That's the beauty of the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media. Why is this not charging? All right, now it's charging. There we go. So, what am I about to say? We got some regulars in here. All right. Welcome, everybody. Did your 12-ounce curls? Look. So does anyone know what I usually say? Like the regulars, can you type out? Do you know what I'm about to say? I say the same intro every day. I've learned a lot of intros. Let's see if I can do a couple intros real quick. Let's see. What is Adam Carolla? No, let me start with Scott Adams. Anything with an atom in it. Microscopic atoms, electrons, neutrons. I'm just drinking coffee, kids. I'm just having a great day. What is Scott Adams? What's the very first word he says? He eventually gets to enjoy me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, and it happens now. Go. Welcome to Coffee with Scott Adams. Wait, what am I missing? Tankard, chalice, or glass. A tankard, chalice, or stein. A canteen jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. Enjoy me now in the unparalleled pleasure. What does Adam Carolla say? Get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get it on. A mandate to get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you. Oh, you left listening to AJ for me. Hey! Back to dancing, back to dancing. Yeah, I did reach out to AJ a while ago when he was retooling his studio. I'm like, yo, come on, do a show. He's like, I'm focused on this thing for a minute. I'm like, all right, I'll get back at you. I don't know that I've hung out with AJ live at the NAM convention, at the Conscious Life Expo, at Politicon. I'm trying to remember all sorts of places, but he's never been on the Agree to Disagree show. We've had sit downs. So I guess that was probably an Agree to Disagree interview. And it really was. He was kind of Ron DeSantis sympathetic. And I was like, screw that guy. But, in the interest of conversation, let it go. But hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Anyway, I'll get to my intro. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere in between two formerly tariff nations. That's the part that changes all the time. My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Saturday, June 7th, 2025, and this is the TNAM Daily Show, a subdivision of the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media because the old American media has failed you. We're going to talk about ICE chaos in Los Angeles. You can call it Lost Angeles if you like. And one of these goofballs tried to play stand in front of the moving vehicle. Well, it didn't turn out very well for that individual who is no longer with us. That's why playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes is not advisable. Make smart decisions. As John Correa, one of my former guests or favorite, tells us, stay away from stupid places where stupid people are doing stupid things. Stay away from the trilogy of stupid. Well, we're going to cover what's going on over there. Also, speaking of stupid, does anyone even understand what this big, beautiful budget boondoggle is about? Yeah, we kind of know. Sort of, but we don't. But we do, but we don't. And it's kind of the best bill we can get based on the 51 votes instead of the 60. There's reconciliation, there's actual budgets, there's 10-year prognostications, there's short-term, there's tax cuts, there's this, there's that, there's debt, there's budget. It's all a mess. We're going to talk about it and consider a few different perspectives there. And of course, Simone Biles. Ugh. Vile Biles. Ooh, I like that. I could work with that. Vile Simone Biles. Ooh, I really dislike this person. And I have a hunch you're going to dislike her too, based on her actions, based on her words, based on her nonsense. We're going to talk about all those stories and more on today's episode of the TNAM Daily Show, Weekend Edition. Let's get started.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Got a comment back to we shared our show link on X. An anti-boomer says Simone Biles is just full of misogynistic bile. Hey, I'll retweet that. Thanks for tuning in. That was a nice little comment. Here's a question of the day. Is it time to replace FBI Director Kash Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, and AG Pam Bondi? We made the call today 39 minutes ago. It's on X, and we actually put it into a poll. So if you have not been to our X feed at American_media_, please vote in our poll. We're done. We're done with them. We watched Kash Patel in clips. I don't need to see the whole thing. I saw the clips, and well, anyway, we're going to unpack some of those clips in real time. Hit like, hit subscribe, however you are watching, and drop a line, say hello, like Deb and Kenneth, and who else is in the chat room today? Hang on. Yep, David, of course, and scrolling. Did I miss anybody? But yeah, anybody sitting on the sidelines, say hello. Drop in and say hi. And let us know where you're watching from. We absolutely appreciate that. Here's the reminder. If you're only following us on YouTube, I see everybody here in the comment section. You're all YouTubers. That's cool, but I'm still dealing with copyright stuff. They try to silence our ability to disseminate information and provide original commentary, even though we have a fair use protection under our American jurisprudence system. Our legal parameters allow us to use clips and then provide commentary and cover the news. YouTube doesn't believe that. They keep flagging content. One day I fear, or I don't even know that I fear. It's not like I go to sleep. I wonder what YouTube's going to do. I wonder what Google's going to do to silence me today. I just assume my time is not long on that platform. So we've added the New American Media in many other places. Maybe not your favorite place, but if one day I'm not showing up and the Gestapo didn't come grab me, it's probably that I've been silenced. So follow the New American Media on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and YouTube by searching the New American Media. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM chat. We're on X at American_media_. And the Agree to Disagree show is on Spotify and Apple. We put the TNAM Daily Show under the umbrella of the Agree to Disagree show. So link up with us there. And if anybody would like to toss a tip into our tip jar, we're on Patreon at the New American Media, Venmo and Cash App at BrianEngelman, and Fuzz installment on PayPal. That's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And of course, for countervailing views on anything regarding health and elections, or really any damn near any other topic imaginable that the deep state wants to lie to you about with their countervailing views, go take a look at what they want you to be propagandized about. CDC.gov, WHO.int, and CISA.gov/rumor control, because they think I'm a lunatic, although I'm pretty well balanced. I'm pretty discerning. I don't get everything right, but I try to, and I don't have a monetary incentive to feed you bullshit. So take their countervailing views and, you know where to put them. Okay, let me jump into the chat. I got so many chats filing through. I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page with all of y'all before we get started. Yes, we are streaming live on Rumble. Fantastic. That is like one of the one sites where we're monetized. If anyone out there follows us on Rumble, you can do super chats, which are super cool. As low as $1. You just send a rant. I've never sent somebody a rant for $1. I don't even know if I've received a rant for $1, but you can. So that's there, and we do make ads off of the advertising revenue. So if you let that, the military doesn't want you to know this one simple trick to getting rid of mosquitoes. And they'll play you like a 90-second ad, but it's like tossing a penny into the wishing well. So for anyone out there, we appreciate anyone that lets those ads play, goes over, washes some dishes, and just lets it run for a minute or two. It's like tossing a penny in the wishing well. Thank you to our Rumble followers. All right. Let's jump into the conversations. Bad joke. Munchkin. Is that when you get to third base with your cousin? Oh, no. But that is a good reminder. That is a good reminder that I do want to start with the irrelevant. And that, of course, is the sports. I think it was Deb who laughed at starting with the irrelevant. Let's talk about this. Holy crap. Are you watching anything with the NHL? Game 1 was overtime. And that was a victory. Where's my screen? So many tabs open. I got to condense this. The Oilers won game 1 in overtime. And then game 2 went to double overtime with the Florida Panthers winning 5-4. Geez, 5-4. That's a very exciting finals score. Usually get these 0-0. Maybe there'll be a shootout. It's a 1-0 defensive standstill. Just a whole bunch of nothing. Standing around watching no scoring. If I want to stand around somewhere and watch a bunch of people not scoring, I'll go out with my friends while they try to pick girls up. All right. If I want to, if I want to spend a few hours watching dudes get nowhere with no scoring, I'll go hang out with my buddies at the nightclub. Okay. 5-4. That's an exciting one. I know sports are irrelevant, but there's a great message in sports. Dedication, determination, stick-to-itiveness, the ability to accept coaching, strategy, implementation, repetition of just practice, muscle memory, trust in your teammates, superhuman tasks of monumental import. I love sports. I love what sports could be. Instead, we get Simone Biles. Ugh, what a loser. Oh, she's so celebrated because she gets the yips and can't compete anymore. I get dizzy when I spin, so I can't play anymore. That's fine. I never made fun of her for that. But then she's like being praised. Oh, you're so brave for backing out of the Olympics. You took an Olympic spot from someone that could have been practicing with the team, and then at the last second, you bail. Biles. Simone Biles. I didn't like that at all. But once again, I also kind of, she tried. I've been injured before. I tried, and I played one play in the playoffs, and I couldn't plant off of my ankle, and I went right down. I hobbled off the field. I go, you got to replace me, coach. I don't have it today. I'll try to get right for next week. And then I tried next week, same thing, I think. And then by week 3 in the playoffs and week 4, I was back to playing again. I get trying to get through it and not being able to. But it's like, it's one of those. You don't go, oh, yay, you're so good and so smart, Simone Biles. Here's a trophy. Here's an award. Let's praise you. Praise you? For failing? That's not the message of sports. So anyway, I've had a problem with Simone Biles for a while. But But like I said, I didn't pile on because she backed out. She legitimately had a I think it was like a physiological case. It was like a head case. It was something with her balance being off. She couldn't do the flips anymore. They called it the yips. Yip, yip. So anyway, I do love sports, although they are irrelevant. But look, this is a fun Olympic, sorry, hockey finals. And if you're not paying any attention, maybe pay a little bit of attention. It's a 1-1 series. Home rink has been stolen now. Double overtime and overtime. These are exciting games. It's a best of 7 series. Now it's a best of 5 series. So anyway, check that out. If you haven't checked that out, I would recommend it. Also, I know they're bred in circuses. I know. Here, let me pull up the NBA. Game 2 will be, is that today? Yes. Game 2 will be today. Pacers lead the Thunder 1-0. They stole home court. Ooh, boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Game 1 with that Halliburton shot was incredible. I haven't seen Halliburton this relevant since Dick Cheney was in the White House. Hey, enjoy the steak. Tip your waitress, eh? No, forget about it. Get no respect, no regard, neither. Nice hat. Does it come with a bowl of soup served in it? I don't know. I haven't done Rodney for a while. I got to work on my Rodney. Huh. Okay. Anyway, that being said, back to the comments. All right. So what's going on today? All sorts of things. Kenneth's doing his 12-ounce curls. That's nice. David's feeling not too bad. David, how's Spiral? And have you listened to the Tool song Parabola? David, this is directly for you. Do you listen to music? Question 1. Question 2. What genre of music do you prefer? Question 3. Are you familiar with Tool and have you ever heard the song Parabola, where the lyrics eventually resolve, spiral out, keep going? It's this epic song. It's like a 9-minute song and it's epic. It's so good. They're like one of my favorite bands. And since your cat is named Spiral, I've been asking you to listen to this song. So are you familiar with Tool? Do you like rock and roll? Hey, kids, do you like the rock and roll? I haven't done a David Letterman in a while either. Stupid human tricks. Anyway. All right. Yep. There's Deb. Leave an anomaly to jump on. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Deb's not a stalker yet. Okay. So next time you got to learn the intro. See, it's broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral. And that's one that Mike Barra had me change. He's like, no, because I did 1 or 2 episodes of Strictly Football. And he's like, I was like broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy. He says, no. It's the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Get more specific. I'm like, all right. So I've adopted that ever since. I think I saw Mike was in a episode of the Y-Files or something, talking about Sidonia and civilizations on Mars, I think he shared something and scrolled it. I'd be interested to check that episode out. And I am overdue to do a Strictly Football with Mike, actually, now that organized team activities are happening. Prior to spring training, not spring training, but, what is it called? With football, preseason? Anyway. Bailey's in my coffee? No. Just regular old coffee for now. Deb says Anomaly was doing his impression of Trump and Elon. They're pretty good, but mine are better. Thank you. Yeah, I know. His Elon. I don't know. They said, sir, it's a little. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. It's I just kind of laugh as Elon. I don't really talk as Elon as much. The old American media is gone. That is true. Okay, good. You do love the intro. Oh, you're saying you like the introduction with like that hodgepodge? What I want to do, I don't know how to do a screen grab. If I could just record stuff and if I could just do a screen grab, I would have had my new intro done a long time ago. Blake put this one together when he and I were doing the shows, and I kind of repurposed it. But yeah, I got a bunch of other people that I want to work into that intro. I want to get John B. Wells in. I want to get George Norrie in. I want to get, I mean, geez, 1 million people in. So many cool interviews over the years. For sure. Right. What else? You saw the Cash interview with Rogan. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Very concerning stuff. Very concerning stuff. David can't play with stupid people anymore. It takes too much out of him. Yeah, they say never argue with an imbecile. They'll drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Because they're used to being an imbecile. You're like, I don't know how to handle being stupid. David says, I personally don't think either of these people are running the show. Well, who is running the show? Uh-oh. Are we going to ask the question you're not allowed to ask? Who the real rulers of planet Earth are? Uh-oh. Who controls the puppet strings? Are they from a foreign nation? Uh-oh. We're about ready to get into dangerous territory. We're not allowed to notice. Ooh, boy. You know, occasionally I do glance around and I'm like, do I have anything that could make a noise? It might go back to my early days of doing college radio. I had a whole soundboard and I would play all these sound effects. I do have this. This is a chicken. This is a rubber chicken. Does it have 2 eyes or 1 eye? I guess 1 eye is sort of scratched. I didn't even notice that. But on the back, it says Debate Bobby. I got this at the Libertarian Convention in Washington, D.C. President Trump spoke. Vivek Ramaswamy spoke. RFK Jr. spoke. Clint Russell spoke. Who else was there? Dave Smith spoke. Anyway, they're passing these out. They were calling Donald Trump a chicken because he wouldn't debate Bobby Kennedy. Well, remember, Trump was like, I was the president. I'm not going to go through this song and dance. There's no reason for me to be talking to little Marco Rubio with his tiny little Lego hands. Frankly, Lego hair on top of it. He's kind of a Lego kind of guy. Speaking of Lego the ego of Krispy Kreme, Chris Christie. And that guy would eat a leg of lamb or an Eggo waffle. Better yet, a leg of lamb wrapped in a waffle, dipped in syrup. That fat fuck. Oh, I don't like swearing as Trump. It's not as funny. It hurt my delicate sensibilities. Calling Chris Christie a fat fuck in the voice of Donald Trump. Although it is kind of funny. It's making me laugh. So I'm actually reevaluating my position in real time. I didn't know I was going to call him that until I started talking. That is my number one criteria for my comedy. If it makes me chuckle, I think I'm onto something. Anyway, I mean, how ridiculous is this rubber duck? My cat's like, ears up. What? That's what this is. So sometimes I do that. There were previous episodes where I would have a kazoo. I would play a kazoo. Oh man, now I'm reminding myself of a silly little intro I did during a Larry Elder show once. Because we called it Lunch with Larry. I wonder if I can find Lunch with Larry. Now that you got me thinking about it. Let me find Lunch with Larry. I mean, it's Lunch with Larry. And this will be Brian Engelman, Larry Elder. Please tell me I can find Lunch with Larry. They do not like me finding my own content. Anyway, I'm going to bail on it. I got a lot of news to get to. I'm just going to go back to it. All right, I'm calling an audible, people. Anyway, let me just tell you this real quick, and I'll finish up the comments and we'll jump into the stories. If you're not watching this NBA series, you don't have to be a big fan. I get it. And the NBA is kind of cringe. But look, the Pacers are just playing lights out. They've never won a championship. It'd be cool for their city to get a victory. Thunder have been the number 1 seed all year, back and forth with the Cavs. And, they're more than capable of winning 4 out of the next 6 games. So check out that series as well. I'm excited for game 2 tonight. But that's all I wanted to share with you. And that's all I have to share about that. Mama always said NBA was like a box of chocolates. I haven't done my Forrest Gump in a while either. All right, I'll be done with sports. Wake me up when he's done with sports. All right. Here, let me share this tab instead. I have to refresh, though. That story's no longer available. Oh, good. Let's jump right to cash. Sports. Hey, Kenneth, that was wasn't that when Lisa and Bart were playing hockey? Sports. And he's got like a pennant that just says sports. And like they were arguing with each other. They played on different hockey teams. And he was standing by the wall at the light switch going, fight, turning the lights on and off. Sports. All right. We're moving on from our sports. That was my just in the beginning, letting you know. All right. The O'Brien Nebula. Yeah. Okay. He was on Y-Files. I've seen a couple episodes of it and I'm sort of into it. David says, there you go. I like all kinds of music. But David, have you... Okay, here, I'm typing. It's Parabola by Tool. Lyrics. Spiral Out. David, if I could be so bold as to give you some homework, please pull this up on YouTube. Please don't listen to it now while we're having our highbrow conversation. But when you do find a few minutes, please check out the song. I'm curious to see if you would enjoy it. I know Tool, and they're not bad, but I've never listened to that song. There you go. All right, cool. Well, then, please, if you would be so kind. The other thing you need to know about that track, it's written as a parabola. So it's like the Fibonacci sequence. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So the lyrics go black, then. Okay, here, let me see if you can see. Black, then white are all I see in my infancy. Then it's 7, I think. Red and yellow came to be. Back to 5, reaching out to me. Let's me see. So the Fibonacci sequence goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3. It spirals. It's the golden ratio. It's super heady. It's super nerdy. But like if you understand that like the lyrics are set to the song about spiraling out, using the Fibonacci sequence as the dynamics that drive the song, it's super cool. It's neat. But aside from all that heady shit, it's just a great song. And it's about your cat. It's not really, but it's spiral out, keep going. And I'm so happy your cat's back. I really am. Let's see. Anomaly is loving the Trump-Elon feud and is waiting for Trump to say, Elon was taking Molly at the White House. I said, Elon, don't do it. Elon, don't do it. It's either going to be ketamine. Or Molly. But if we're going to have robotics, Molly helps. Oh, Elon. I know. Elon taking Molly at the White House. Who's Skinny Bob in charge of Planet Earth? I don't even know what that reference is. Super Chicken. Oh, yeah, that's Super Chicken. Okay. Trump put little Marco into a really big job. Said, little Marco, big job. Wants to be president. They love using secretaries of state. I like smoking hot secretaries. It improves my state of well-being. Brian, you and I are our own best audiences. Yeah, we crack ourselves up. That is exactly. Oh, you just quoted Forrest Gump too? Of course, Forrest Dump from a bear's point of view. There you go. Bears and bunnies to wipe. Awesome. Let's go. Let's jump into the show. What is going on with Cash? He's on with... Look at him. Look at this. He can't look you in the fucking eye. I saw Bongino can't look you in the eye. Cash can't look you in the eye. Now, to be fair, this is how Cash Patel normally looks at people. He's like cross-eyed. He's got a... So it's not like he normally looks at people dead on. Mitch Hedberg has a joke about that. He says, yeah, people think I'm weird. My sister says I'm weird. I think she's weird. She's got a picture up on top of her television set with her whole family at one of those Olin Mills type places with the fancy backgrounds but they're all looking slightly to the left. Except my sister's cross-eyed, so one eye's right the fuck on. Stupid joke, but Mitch Hedberg's full of stupid jokes, and he cracks me up. So I know Cash Patel's got a weird cross-eyed thing going on. So even when he's trying to look you dead in the eye, he's going to be pulling one of these. But that being said, there's something in the body language of how I'm reading these two people. Maybe not Bondi. Bondi just seems like a wind-up doll. You go... Brr, brr, brr. President Trump, on Thursday, we ... And no, we did not deliver the JFK or the RFK or any of the Epstein files. She's just wind her up and go. Cash has been coached. Bongino has been told, shut the fuck up. Cash feels very coached. Bongino's probably done more radio than doing more broadcasting, so it's probably just like, here's a script, read the script out. You hear when Cash was on with Fox and Friends or whatever Fox show that was, and he's like, now look, being in the corrections service for as long as I've been in the corrections service, you know a suicide when you see one. And I see one coming, I see one going, I see them from both directions because I'm a little cross-eyed. So look, I've looked at all the files, and that was a suicide. I know what it looks like. It doesn't look like I'm looking at much, but I'm looking at like actually everything. I don't know why, but I've kind of turned it into a little bit of a Ben Shapiro. There is no whiskey in this coffee. It's just coffee, guys. It really is. But I'm really on one today. I'm being really ridiculous. And I don't mean to bash Cash, but what the fuck? What are you doing? I'm done. I want them all fired. I've seen enough. Let's just watch this clip from Cash and let's break it down together, shall we?
View everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women.
Shut up. Just shut up, Cash. Look, and you have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. Shut up, Cash. No. You're not doing this. Won't somebody think of the children? Won't somebody think of the women? Bro, we know what was going down there was demonic on every level. We don't envision a universe where the video is not blurring out the other person completely. So do it. You have infinite resources, an army of people working. Blur them out. All we need is a 20-second clip to show Bill Clinton there, to show Oprah Winfrey there, to show Bill Gates there, to show allegedly. All alleged, of course. I don't know anything that I'm not telling you. But what I do know is you're hiding behind the women. And that's bullshit. That is just like when I said either yesterday or the day before how the DNC would trot out a Gold Star father to bash President Trump. And then when you criticize what he had to say, you go, I can't believe you said something negative about that Gold Star father. Yeah, you put him up like he was bulletproof. You put him up like he was invincible because, well, my delicate sensitivities would never allow us to criticize a father of a fallen soldier. It's not about the background story. It's about the content of what they said. Just like it's not about the content, just like it's not about the skin color, the genitalia, or the sexual preferences of anybody making an argument. It's about the content of the argument. You know? And so just right off the bat, Cash is like, I'm going to deflect and I'm going to, well, you know, look, we don't want to. He was coached to say that shit. You have Mike Pompeo, who was fired as CIA. Wait, CIA, FBI, am I confusing them? Pompeo was fired. Really, all my alphabet agencies start to kind of blur together. I could play you the drum beat of every song. I could sing you the lyrics. I could kind of, I know how the guitar is played, the rhythm and the lead parts, but sometimes I do kind of forget the names of songs. So I actually want to double check. Mike Pompeo, CIA, right? It was CIA director. I said FBI. He was CIA. Yeah, I knew FBI wasn't right. He was CIA director 17 to 18 under Trump. Before that, a U.S. rep from Kansas, 11 to 17. And then after CIA, he went into Secretary of State under Trump from 18 and then into 21. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Pompeo's not a part of this administration, but he's over in Ukraine the day before they go into Russia and launch a blitzkrieg. Lindsey Graham is negotiating, violating the Logan Act. No fucking arrests. For people with the ability to indict and arrest, you would. It seems like these people are unaware. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi. It's like they're unaware that they have the ability to indict and arrest people. They're acting as if their hands are tied. Man, throw some darts. Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Fannie Willis, all these nincompoops went after Trump based on bullshit. We have mountains of evidence. Mountains. We know what they're up to. Go get them. Indict them. Fucking do something. Instead, we get Kash Patel going, well, you know, we don't want to, you know, we're not going to re-victimize women. Bro, you're going to empower them if you go get the bad guys. You're victimizing them by ignoring this. Nancy Mace released video with her naked because she was getting abused by an ex-boyfriend. She's like, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not going to be shamed. Let's go. I want these bad guys. We need to change the laws and stop the ability of them to do this. Revenge porn or whatever exactly that is. Or surreptitiously recording somebody, then releasing the information unbeknownst to them without their, okay, whatever the nuance of it is. She wants it to stop and she's like, here I am. She would strip naked in front of Congress and go, you want to see it again? I'm right here. I'm doing this of my own free will and accord. I'm not going to be a victim. You're not going to hold this video over my head. You're not in charge. Well, you know what, Kash Patel? You're putting Epstein in charge. You're putting Ghislaine Maxwell in charge. You, Kash Patel, are victimizing all of these ladies by not indicting the motherfuckers who've been involved in this Mossad, CIA, alleged conspiracy to get everybody caught in these spider webs so that they're permanent deep state assets that will jump whenever told to. Yes, massa. Yes, massa. How high shall I jump today? Oh, yes, I'll jump that high. I don't want this to come out. What happened to Glenn Greenwald because he's not playing ball? Oh, he's got a foot fetish for black dudes. I don't care what he does. Feet are gross. Fine. No, I'm not going to watch the video. I really don't want to. I really could have went the rest of my life without ever seeing Glenn Greenwald in like a what do you call it? Like a tight it's not spandex, like a see-through maid's outfit. I didn't want to see that. But Glenn Greenwald's like, I'll share it. Yeah, that's me. So what? What I do in my personal time is my personal thing. Now, it has raised questions about his, I think he was married and that guy died, and then he adopted several young boys and he was dating a young boy. And there's all sorts of questions and concerns and rumors swirling around. But that's what they want, whoever they are. We're not allowed to notice whoever they are. So is this part of a bigger plan? I don't know. Ghislaine Maxwell and Maxwell's father and those Mossad connections, those CIA connections, the American textbook connections, the topics we can't discuss, the perpetual victimhood, speech laws. There's a bunch of topics coalescing. They're all merging together at once. You cannot put enough fingers in the dike to save this. I dropped that. That's what you call an alley-oop. I tossed that to Kenneth, or the rest of you, really. If you want to go ahead and grab that alley-oop and throw it down for a dunk. I left you a joke about putting fingers into dikes. But it's about plugging up a failing dam that's ready to it's there are too many holes in this dam. It's falling apart. It's coming down. It's going to be a tsunami of holy shit. That is, it's going to do this unless Kash Patel continues to gatekeep for the demons who have been abusing women and children. You're not victimizing women by putting this information out. You are empowering them by going after the fucking Johns who sold their soul to become a part of this shit. Go get them. Yeah. Preach it, Brian. Bella's Chance says, right, Brian, laugh. This whole drama has become a comedy unbeknownst to the actors. Kenneth is ready to cash out, please. All right, I gotta ask, though. Deb, with my crossed eyes, was that too far? Did I take it too far? I might have taken it too far. I don't know. You know, I do think it is taking things too far to make fun of personality traits and idiosyncrasies that people cannot control, like weird eye things and weird voice things. I'm just imitating what I see and hear. It's not my fault. Good grief. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to do any. It's not like I have a script when I do my show. I just go off the top of my head. And it's tough. Like doing the cross-eyed thing, it does kind of hurt. The RFK voice. There are challenges. But I'm getting a little better at doing it, I think. Okay, you were LMFAO, so that's good. All right, good. I'll take it then. All right, the crossed eyes are funny. Do other people do that as an impression of Kash Patel? I've never seen it. I really think what I need to do is start doing like a daily... Okay, I'm actually envisioning it now because I have an option here on Restream where I can go offline and then I can do my recordings, and then I could take that recording and chop it up a little bit to like where I'm talking to myself. So I could be doing look, I could be doing a Kash Patel that's kind of like Ben Shapiro with this voice and then maybe Elon could chime in laughing at something that we say. Or Tucker. Or President Trump. I don't laugh. Laughing is beneath me. I'm usually the comic telling the jokes, not laughing at them. I really I'm thinking in real time. I think I want to start doing some skits like this. What would help me immensely is if someone could just edit all this shit. It's in the editing where I just go, fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. That's kind of how I'm wired. We'll do it live. By the way, hit like and subscribe, however you're watching out there. You have, if you've tuned in to the TNAM Daily Show for the first time today, you're either in for a treat or you have no idea what type of crack I'm on. Zero. I don't do drugs. Mitch Hedberg has a joke about that. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. All right. Kenneth, that's a good one. Cross-eyed hurricane. Okay, I'm writing that down. Instead of crossfire hurricane, cross-eyed hurricane. Yeah, I was trying to work. I was doing two things. Because you have a Jesse Ventura. And it's kind of like an Alex Jones, which is a little bit like animated Trump. It's like I'm trying to like get the Jesse Ventura, the Elon, so yeah, when I can work on the Elon speaking part. Get AJ on. He can be what does he do better? Does he do Trump better or Elon better? His Trump's, it's okay. He does it, and I like that he does it, and he commits to it. And it's like everyone has their own version of it, but can we just sit around and laugh? Because this shit is so unfunny. I'm having a great time. Thank you guys. Yeah, that Tucker laugh is it's one of my favorites. It comes very natural. Cross-eyed hurricane. My God, that's good. Back to Cash. Let's get into the stories.
We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening because then he wins. Not doing it.
He wins. Epstein wins if we show the videos of the Johns so that we can indict them and imprison them. That's how Epstein wins. Kind of feels like the Epstein bosses who wanted all that COINTELPRO, like all the people that wanted the blackmail. I feel like the puppet masters who were orchestrating the whole Epstein thing win if we don't indict the participants. Cash has the exact opposite opinion. That's odd.
You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it. Period. Right. If I have it.
So
where else would it be?
What do you mean, where else would it be? Now, what was that? What was that? Cash is dropping us breadcrumbs. Wait, you like AJ's Trump better? All right, I got to work on my Trump. Cash dropping us breadcrumbs. Where else would it be? That's an odd thing to say. Because we were told that this evidence existed. We knew it existed. I know, Bella's Chance. This is something I've said. This means that Epstein has been with us this whole time. They just ushered him out of there. He's too important of a deep state asset. How else are you going to keep all these foreign leaders, these, whether it's British royal family or CEOs of Fortune 500 companies? Oh, it's very valuable to put out a daily briefing. Yeah, Cash is scared. You know who else is scared? Amy Coney Barrett, terrified. John Roberts, terrified. You can see it. It's like they have, when I read you countervailing views and I'm like, I say this under duress and I always do this to show you like, yeah, somebody's like, stick them up. And I'm like, crap, you got me, see? That's what they look like. Cash does look terrified. He looks scared. We're told that all this information was there. On day one, you seal the FBI building, you kick everybody out, and you make sure that you quarantine all the information before they can set it on fire. That's if you cared. So what does it mean? Is Elon right? By the way, did Elon just delete some tweets that he sent out about Trump and Epstein? Did he realize he was deep in a K-hole? I think he deleted some stuff. But was Elon right? Was Trump involved in this? And like his regime has to now cover for Trump. I'm not saying that's the case, because if any of that was out there, the deep state would have taken Trump out with this a long time ago. Epstein left his cell uncovered and not in a body bag. Yeah, there was no video evidence because they mysteriously went down, but now we have video evidence that can prove, hey, look, here's an empty hallway. There he is. He walks in and then he walks, and then he's wheeled out. See, no, nothing happened. You can't clip a video to give me a break. They are whizzing all over our legs saying it's raining. There's a mountain of evidence. It took them forever to get this evidence out of there. And who took it? Where did they put it? What are they doing with it? We were told mountains of evidence, piles, thousands of images and videos. Where are they? Now there are none. I am telling you, vote of no confidence on Patel, Bongino, and Bondi.
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Everything we have so far is.
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Yeah, we have gone over every piece of video available.
Right.
And
is there video from the island?
Not of what you want. The people out there have filled the void with can't wait to see X, Y, or Z.
Right, speculation.
And I'm like, here's the other thing I've been asking for, right? Openly. If you have information on this, call us.
Respectfully, I fucking hate Kash Patel right now. Hate him. Hate, loathe. I am full of rage and hate. You know what he just did? Right there. I can't drag it back 5 seconds because it's Instagram. I don't have that control mechanism on the playback bar. What he did right there is what Stephen Colbert did to Jon Stewart. Remember when Jon Stewart famously went on the Stephen Colbert show? And he said, there's been, Jon Stewart goes, there's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I wonder what the cause could be. And you saw ABC, ESPN, Disney, deep state assets, Stephen Colbert saying, well, John, I mean, we don't know that it escaped from the Wuhan lab. Now, if you have information about that you'd like to share with us, I'd love to see it, but because nobody's ever seen that. Clenched fist. That whole thing, that whole COVID thing, directly responsible for my mother dying of respiratory distress right before the world shut down and my brother dying of respiratory distress right at the ass end of COVID when Joe Biden was banning ivermectin, banning monoclonal antibodies, banning hydroxychloroquine. So I take that a little personal. So when Stephen Colbert was like, well, John, nobody's ever seen anything. Nobody has any proof of that. If you have something that you'd like to share with us, I'd love to see it. You, Colbert. That's what Kash Patel just did right there. Now, if someone out there has video evidence, then call us. I don't have it in me to tolerate this type of shit. All right. Am I reading too much into these little fight? I mean, I am not microdosing. I'm micro-analyzing these little snippets of this little weasel Kash Patel. None of it's adding up. Am I being too harsh on Kash Patel? Should I go harder on Kash Patel? I've already called for a vote of no confidence. Replace him, Bongino, and Bondi immediately. I don't know how much harder I can go than that. But would you say my analysis on this is spot on? Am I kind of, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Well, if you have any evidence that you'd like to show, then call us, because we've gone over everything. There is nothing you'd like to see. There's just a whole lot of nothing. Tell me if I'm being a little too harsh on Kash Patel.
Tell us. The best resource we have is the American people in the world. Again, we're going to give you everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize.
Let's go through comments. Calls him a sellout. This person says BS. This says that just confirms that he's been compromised. This one says, yes, his boss in Israel has them. This one says, sure, Jan. This one says, so disappointed in Kash Patel. This one says, Bondi says thousands of hours of footage. Something ain't right. This one says, if it doesn't exist, then how would we know okay. If it doesn't exist, then how would he potentially re-victimize women? So confusing. Yeah. How about that? How about that as just a jumping off point? You start off saying you're not going to re-victimize women by showing this stuff. By the way, there is nothing to share. Bro, blink 3 times if you're under distress. Bro, do you need to be like extracted? Are you held hostage right now? What the actual fuck is going on here? How are you going to re-victimize people by showing the video because you don't have video? He is literally talking out both sides of his eyes. Okay, now I'm being mean. This is Kash Patel talking out both sides of his eyes. Well, we definitely don't want to re-victimize women. And by the way, we've seen all the video there is to see, and there is nothing there. And by the way, if you have any information, I mean, share it with us. That's our best resource. If you've been to the island and you have video footage, share it with us, because we don't have anything. Fuck you, Kash Patel. Done with you. When I do this, I don't mean a call to violence like the 8647. I mean, I'm not buying it. This means I'm not buying it. Oh, here, let me clarify. I'm not. Here, let me change my aspect ratio. This sucks. Okay. Or should I say, I am not buying this. I'm looking around. Do I have anything that signifies shit? I'm not buying this shit. Yes, once again, for the nincompoops out there, this means I'm done. This means I am done with it. I'm not buying this shit. Yeah, I'm going to get a raid at 3 a.m. Did you do this thing talking about Kash Patel? How dare you threaten? He's our deep state asset. You go after Kash. You come after us. Goodness, people. Yeah, and I like to, I have a recreational belief that Epstein, he never offed himself. They just got rid of the 2 guards. They cut off the cameras. They got his ass out of there. They took a picture of him on a gurney. They said, oh, look, here he is. He's gone. Sure he is. Sure. Deb asks, what if this whole Trump-Elon thing is a psyop to get Dems off of his back now that he's left the White House? Yeah, absolutely could be. Somewhere there's a picture of Trump's rump. Bella's Chance, I'm with you. No confidence in Kash, Bongino, and Bondi. Trump's pork rump is in that big, beautiful bill. Although I did hear the big, beautiful bill was kind of revised because the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, usually lies about it to harm Republicans. And if you actually look at it, it's a different number, but it's all based on a 10-year projection. And I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, from cash to trash. Done with you, Kash. Done with you. He's shrugging accountability, Deb. Yep. Cash and tell. Cash, do tell. Yeah, mushrooms. Mushrooms grow in your shower. Goodness. Do you shower outside with the animals? I know. No one knows what's really going on. Let it unfold and begin. We'd love to let it unfold, but we're being gaslit and lied to. Moving on. Oh, wait, do they play the music? I can't play this if there's music.
If the world found out that Eminem was...
Weren't we having a conversation? Who was I talking with about Bitcoin and crypto and who is Satoshi Nakamoto? So the question is, what if Satoshi Nakamoto, who started Bitcoin, was actually Eminem?
Actually Satoshi Nakamoto? And it'd be like this: y'all act like you never seen crypto before, don't need fiat no more, like Jerome Powell just burst through the door. So
anyway, he does a whole thing that's kind of funny. Printing up cash worse than before. Since the First World War, they've been overtaxing the poor. Summer of 08, you're kidding. No way. They didn't just print another trillion, did they? And Klaus Schwab said, who cares, you idiots? Klaus Schwab is evil. He wants to own it all. Regulators hate Bitcoin. Chicka Satoshi. Who the hell is he? Can't look at him. Nowhere around. We don't know who created you know what. We can't control them. Probably got a couple of code scaling issues better than what's going on in your CEO's boardrooms. But at least it's a mutable record of the truth. Look how much it dips. Look how much it dips. Oh, look how much it dips. Look how much it dips. And that's the message that we hear from the banks. Of course. Anyway, I can't keep up with this, but this is kind of funny. It's on our Instagram feed if you want to watch it. I can't play it because the internet hates music. No, they're protecting musicians from unauthorized reproduction. It's fair use. But I can't change it, so I got to comply with it. But this is kind of well done. I encourage you to check it out. All right. Look, back to humor. This was funny to me. I don't want to be all like locked into the minutia of every story every day. Sometimes things just strike me as funny, and I wanted to share it. So check this out. This is what it would be like if Jesus died in 2025. This one cracked me up.
No, Jesus dead at 33. Oh, I can't believe that. Oh, that's really affected me, that has. Oh my God. Oh.
That's really affected me, that has. Oh, God. Ooh. I think his accent makes it funnier, too.
I just looked on his profile and he posted a photo last night of him and his friends out for dinner. Oh, people are commenting underneath, the Last Supper. Oh, this isn't going to be a Good Friday. Oh, wow. Apparently he's alive. Yeah. People are saying he's risen. What's this? Breaking, Jesus of Nazareth reportedly seen alive after public execution 3 days ago. Developing story. He's amazing. Oh, some people are saying it's not real. Yeah, someone's written, not saying I don't believe, but until I see the holes in his hands myself. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait. Mary Magdalene has posted a photo of her outside the tomb, and it says, for all the doubters, tomb's empty. He said what he said. Hashtag, he is risen. Hashtag Sunday surprise. Someone's posted a meme. It's that monkey doing the side eye like that. And it says, Judas, when he found out Jesus had risen. That's brilliant. Someone's put, men will literally do anything to avoid doing any housework. Someone's put, okay, I definitely didn't have Jesus dying and rising again on this year's bingo card. Oh, McDonald's have just posted, free fillet of fish with every Big Mac meal. Hashtag, he is risen and so is our bun. Nike have posted a photo of him and they've put, he just did it. Oh no, Jesus.
Oh, that's a good comment there. Nailed it. Okay, that's a good. This is, I'm just going to say fantastic. Comedy, mate. Yeah, that's fantastic. A fillet of fish. All right, Thomas Massey here chiming in on the bill. He says, here's the Massey plan. I want to throw the big, beautiful bill in the trash and start over. Do it skinny. Extend the 2017 tax cuts, end the Green New Deal cold turkey, no bloat for military-industrial complex, no salt, no pork. I don't know what SALT, Atlantic Treaty. What is SALT? It's something. Realistic border funding, serious Medicaid reform, $1 spending cut for $1 in new tax cuts. And redheaded libertarian says, how can any Republican disagree with you on any of this? Hey, you want to hear frustrated people talking?
So one thing they are furious about is,
I'm pissed.
And Pam and Cash are as good as you get. What's the problem? Your audience the same way, they're steamed.
Oh, yeah.
You can do an awful lot of stuff, but until you start putting bad guys in jail, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
And a sense of urgency. It's not like we have this forever.
No.
I mean, if Hakeem Jeffries wins in 18 months, which is not outside the possibility to raise $2 billion,
we're done.
They're going to impeach Trump right
We're
about.
done. So where is the DOJ? Okay, I know Cash quite well. I believe Cash. I don't know Pam. Okay, that I'm not throwing dispersions on her, but something's not right. Why aren't you unleashing? Is it the deep state has them by the throat? What is it? But it's got to be solved. You have no.
Is that a message that you think I don't want to get into your private conversation with the president, but is that something you would highlight? That?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You think there needs to be a sense of urgency about this?
What does any of it mean?
Why is Congress taking so much time off right now? Traditional 2 weeks vacations or 2 weeks back to the constituent, they don't have town halls?
I don't know. I mean, it is.
Because collectively they're good people, but as a body,
they're horrible.
They're horrible.
Absolutely horrible. I honestly, Steve, I can't tell you. I am at a loss for DOJ, and I'm at a loss for Congress, and I'm at a loss on Donald Trump, man. Why aren't you using the bully pulpit to go after your own here? Eat them. Eat them. Tell them, oh, we're watching you. The whole country is watching you. Get to work. Do these things now. Have you seen the clock on the wall and the numbers spinning?
We're burning daylight.
Burning daylight.
So one thing they are furious about is...
I'm pissed.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the I'm pissed button. All right, moving on. That's Glenn Beck and Steve Bannon. Oh, look, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Oh, everybody's favorite illegal alien, sex trafficking, human smuggling piece of dirt. He's back.
And conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 U.S.C. 1324. We want to thank President Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges.
Yeah, why are they why do they have this new information now? I'd like to get some backstory on it. Why did you get rid of him if you had this information? And why did it take you this long to get this information? Why did you get rid of him before you were able to put the story together?
This is what American justice looks like.
Oh, tell us about the JFK files. Remember when they offed our sitting president and you were supposed to release the files? You were supposed to release the Epstein files, Pam Bondi? That's what justice looks like. You have not been delivering it. You toss a couple of breadcrumbs at us and think we'll be distracted enough to, Pam Bondi, so good.
Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador. The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. They found this was his full-time job, not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women.
Are women not humans? That was a weird phrase. Somebody could have written that better.
He made over 100 trips, the grand jury found, smuggling people throughout our country. MS-13 members, violent gang, terrorist organization members throughout our country. Thousands of illegal aliens were smuggled. And conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 U.S.C. 1324. We want to thank President.
All right, I think it's repeating there. But that's the latest on that dirtbag Kilmar Abrego Garcia, in case you were curious. Raging West puts this out because, I shared a story on Facebook, we have a sports group called the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. And I shared a story that once again, a big mural of Kobe Bryant has been desecrated and spray painted over, vandalized in Los Angeles. And I shared the story and I'm like, let's play a game. Did a citizen of Los Angeles do this, or did an illegal alien invader do this? Why would anyone piss in their own swimming pool? You know? So this Raging West shares this story. This is a father of a son speaking out. His son was offed by an air quote refugee. And you need to start using these air quotes. This is an invasion. This isn't, oh, there's some humanitarian crisis. Bullshit. This is a planned invasion to overthrow sovereign nations across the globe. Does this guy speak in French or can we hear him? Hang on.
Je dis ce que je pense, de toute façon. J'ai toujours fait comme ça dans ma vie. Et j'assume.
So he says, in France, we welcome refugees. They are housed, fed, and then they kill our children. Today, Benoit was about to turn 18 and shitty scum in life.
Quand on échange, indifférent, on le fait avec les mains nues, comme un homme. C'est ça les hommes courageux. Et Benoît était courageux. Les types qui se battent avec un couteau, une arme à feu, une arme blanche. Pour moi, ce sont des lâches. Ils ne valent rien.
Shame on Europe for allowing this to happen, and get to the point of getting these people out of your country. Enough. Any country I've gone to, you get a passport, you get a driver's license, you go through the paperwork, you stand in line at customs, you blah, blah, blah. I've done it in Canada. I've done it in Barbados. I've done it in the Cayman Islands. I've done it going to Mexico. I've done it here. I've done it there. I've done it all sorts of places. You want to sneak in? You can fuck off. Sneak in equals fuck off. It's just, who would go into a place and murder the people that are there? Someone that isn't a part of that community. That's who. Someone that doesn't care. Oh, there's plenty of Americans that commit crimes. Yep. And I'd like to focus on them, not this invading horde of people who are trying to overthrow our sovereign nations. Thank you very much. It's time to rise up and defend our countries from this invasion. Yep, Kilmar Abrego Garcia returning to the U.S. to face criminal charges for transporting illegals for money. 2 criminal counts in the Middle District of Tennessee: conspiracy to unlawfully transport illegal aliens for financial gain and unlawful transportation of illegal aliens for financial gain. Why was he let go by Tennessee in the first freaking place? They had him on the side of the road. We watched the video. Why didn't they get him when they had him? Bella's chance. Garcia, what a waste of time. Arrest Fauci, Brennan, Clapper, Schiff, Garland, Mayorkas, Comey. Bondi is wasting our time now. Deb, I actually forget what I was air quoting on. I really do almost just channel another character when I do these shows. I am still me. I'm unapologetically me, but I'm also juggling chainsaws. I have multiple ring lights in my eyes. I have 3 different playback cameras I'm looking at. I have comments over here. I have comments over here. Sometimes I just forget what I said. What was I doing? Air quotes? Contractor? What did I say? Because he was a contractor. I don't remember. Sports are always an unhappy hour for me. They're unhappy for me because I'm a Cleveland sports fan. So that's why I titled it that. Anyway, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, like a bad rash. Here he is again. Welcome to your new home away from home, you scum. All right, we're back to comedy, people. Vibes. We're raising the vibes. The Babylon Bee says, Unholy Hoax. What's up, Unholy Hoax? Can you remind me, what region of Earth do you watch us from, Unholy Hoax? Actually, I don't know your name either. I don't know Bella's Chance's name. I know Deb's and David's and Kenneth's. Anyway, back to the humor. Babylon B says, depressed Trump asks Melania if she'd put on a baseball cap and say space stuff to cheer him up. Space stuff. Say space stuff. Space stuff. Space stuff. Hey, Chris from San Antonio. What's up, brother? I'm assuming it's a brother. I don't know. You could be a lady. Chris the man from San Antonio or Chris the lady from San Antonio? Now I'm going to ask Bella's Chance and Deb and Kenneth and David, everybody, to remember that this is Chris from San Antonio. Guy Chris or girl Chris? I don't know. She could cheer me up, says Kenneth. Easy, Tiger, easy. Space stuff. You got to get that like bouncy thing that he. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Give me some space stuff, sweetie. A little bit of space. Howdy do? I'm a fella. What's up there, fella, down in San Antonio? Nice to have you, Chris, Unholy Hoax. All right, Jack Posobiec is going off on the budget.
Folks, I'm going to lay it out for you real simple.
Do it.
Real simple.
Yep.
The MAGA movement exists because of mass deportations. It exists because of the immigration issue, period, full stop.
Now, by the way, when Trump ran, I did not realize that this illegal invasion of the United States had been so prominent. Part of me was like, well, why is Trump so focused on the damn wall? Everyone's calling him racist. And it's like, well, no, I mean, it makes sense that you put a lock on your door. You don't just let anyone rummage through your house. You don't let anyone rummage through your country. So like, just on a basic level, I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I was blown away after 9/11. Uh-oh, that was a bad pun. No, but I have multiple personality disorder. It's called comedy. What does Mark Normand do? Comedy. Mark Normand is a great comic if you're not familiar with him. But I would say in 2015, 2016, I didn't realize that the wall and Trump and that the border invasion was as big a deal as it is. And then, of course, when Biden got in, everything went 10 times worse because Obama got really cocky. Like, I told Michelle, if I could be in the basement with an earpiece, I wouldn't mind serving a third term where I could fundamentally transform the United States of America into a communist, socialist, Leninist hellscape. So with Biden, I can give him the old okey doke and, sit around in sweatpants and ruin this country. Because, frankly, America didn't build that. America didn't build that. That's why we need to fundamentally transform the United States. And with Biden as my old white puppet, kind of give him the old okey doke, trick him, and finish the plan that I started 2 terms ago. Si se puede. No, I do. I have multiple personality impressions running through my head nonstop. That is true. But anyway, my point is I didn't realize that the border was this bad. And then we watched it go 100 times worse. Brian, you just said 10 times worse. Now it's 100 times worse. A quadrillion times worse under Biden. But now we see it as just absolutely catastrophic and suicidal as a nation. Europe is lost. And I'm glad that we've had the focus on it now because I didn't realize it was this insane.
When Donald Trump came down that escalator 10 years ago.
Okay, but when Trump came down the escalator, I wasn't thinking about immigration. I was thinking about the other 100 major important issues. And I'm like, Trump is actually saying the right things on a lot of these. About the military-industrial complex, about overprinting money and inflation, about endless foreign wars, about border. Okay, yeah, border security was a part of it, but like that was just the easiest common sense thing. I don't think coming down the golden escalator was all about immigration. Not for me, it wasn't.
Oh. And everything that's happened since, the lawfare, the canceling, people losing their bank accounts, the arrests, the trials, the assassination attempts.
Yep.
Do you really think that we've come this far to just throw it all away now? No, I don't think so.
No.
Why is it that there's always plenty of money to send to Ukraine, plenty of money to send the military over to the Middle East, plenty of money for all these things, but suddenly when it comes to actually funding something that's for the American people, the American worker, the American family, American mothers and fathers and American children. Now we got to be fiscally responsible. Now we got to be fiscally responsible. I'm sick of it. 10 years, we are not stepping back one step. And if I see anyone taking one step back, then you are going right on the list. Folks.
You're on the list. Paddle in the canoe? Better believe that's a paddling. Talking back? Oh, that's a paddling. Paddle in the school canoe? Oh, you better believe that's a paddling. If Biden came down the escalator, he would have fallen. Mitch Hedberg has a joke about an escalator. You know, I like escalators because they can only temporarily become stairs. Instead of putting a sign out there saying something negative, just say, escalator temporarily stairs. Sorry for the convenience. All right. I miss Mitch Hedberg. I wish I had 20 more years of Mitch jokes. Hey, here's Kash Patel lighting up a cigar after explaining how he's taking on the Chinese Communist Party to end the fentanyl crisis.
So fentanyl, right? Everybody's like, how do you attack fentanyl? How do you stop this stuff? Okay, yes, let's go after the gangs, the narco-terrorists down in Mexico. 100%. You got to go after the cartels, the drug trafficking organizations.
You know what I'd like to know? I'm reading this comment. He's not doing anything. Over 100 days. No answers on Butler. No Epstein files. No J6 answers. No. Yeah, where the fuck are the J6 arrests? The J6 mockery trial where they framed President Trump after they opened up the gates, after they declined the request for National Guard reinforcements, after they framed President Trump, who said, march over peacefully and patriotically, make our voices heard. They framed Trump on J6, and there's no arrest for Kinzinger, Cheney, Pelosi, all of their ilk. You've had 100 days. Prioritize JFK files, Biden arrests, J6 arrests, Epstein arrests, and unravel what happened in Butler and who was funding him. But no. Sorry,
You got to shore up the southern border. The president has done an amazing job at both of those things, made it a priority. So we have decreased the amount of fentanyl being moved around, let's say, right? But not necessarily coming into the United States. So where's the root of the problem? The CCP. So the fentanyl precursors.
Scapegoat. No, I mean, to be fair, yes, fentanyl's a big problem, and I don't think you should have to die just because you want to get high.
The stuff you need to make fentanyl comes from mainland China. That's it. Now, I'm sure like 1% of it comes from somewhere else in the world, but that's where it comes. They've got hundreds of companies standing up in mainland China shipping this stuff out.
Okay. Unpopular thought. I'm not really a globalist. I'm not really a interventionist per se. But if you have how many factories you talking about? Why aren't you if you've identified where the poison's coming from and you know exactly what's happening to kill all of these Americans year after year after year. Yeah, that's a military issue. Go get them. No, tell me I'm wrong.
Into the world. Now, their cover is that fentanyl has, and it does have a legitimate lawful purpose.
What?
In terms of an anesthetic or medical use for anesthesiology related stuff. Okay, so there's like a minimal use for it. And what the CCP has done is they've come out and said, this is like the biggest, like, talk about the devil pulling the wool over the world's eyes. They're like, we don't make fentanyl. They're right. They don't. They just give you all the ingredients for it and ship it to Mexico. And then what they did was to trick the world. They came out and said, hey, we're going to not sell precursor X. They're like, so now we're out of the fentanyl trade entirely. The problem is there's 14 other precursors you can use to make fentanyl, and they're still shipping all of those. So what we did when I got to the bureau is we stood up this massive enterprise to go after fentanyl precursor companies in mainland China. And they're probably not going to like that. And what they're doing now to get cute is they're shipping that stuff not straight to here. They're going to places like India, and I'm also doing operations in India. And they're having the Mexican cartels now make this fentanyl down in Mexico still. But, you know, instead of going right up the southern border and into America, you know what they're doing? They're flying it into Vancouver. They're taking the precursors up to Canada, manufacturing it up there, and doing their global distribution routes from up there because we were being so effective down south.
Oy.
Yeah, it's a huge lift, but part of it is Americans just don't understand the depth and depravity of fentanyl. But what's worse is fentanyl. You don't hear of fentanyl deaths in China. You don't hear of fentanyl deaths in India. You don't really hear of fentanyl deaths in England, Australia, New Zealand, our Five Eyes partners in Canada. The Chinese, in my opinion, the CCP, have used it as a directed approach because we are their adversary and they don't like us and we don't like what they're doing when it comes to fentanyl. And their long-term game is this. How do I, in my opinion, kneecap the United States of America, our largest adversary? Well, why don't we go and take out generations of young men and women who might grow up to serve in the United States military or become a cop or become a teacher? And that's what they're doing when you wipe out tens of thousands of Americans a year. It's a long-term plan for them.
Oh, that is such a dark, dark thing.
It is, but we're on it. So fentanyl, right? Everybody's like, how do you attack fentanyl? How do you stop this stuff? Okay, yes, let's go after the...
All right, that's good. Hey, here's the never-ending cycle on Good Morning Liberty. So first, Republicans win the election. And we are right here before you can't fix things until after the midterms. Then, you lose the midterms because they didn't fix things. Then things get worse. And then Republicans win the election. You're right here on this cycle. You all seeing it? Yeah. Shit. Oh, check it out. There's new talking points memos from Chucky Schumer.
And say something I didn't think was imaginable. I agree with Elon Musk.
Breaking news, Elon Musk and I agree with each other.
To be very clear, this is not a big, beautiful bill. It's a big, beautiful betrayal of the middle class.
Long car, get on in.
And say something.
Talking points memo came out. They are so weird.
They're talking about putting those up.
Oh, I know what they are up here.
Yes.
Miss Nicholson, 90 years old, lives in Cheatham County, Tennessee. Who's TVA? Showed up at her farm with guns and bulletproof vests to trespass on her land. And she says, you think you own something, but you don't own nothing.
You think you own something, you don't own nothing. I'm the only child. And I forget how many acres I got. I go to Spring Creek.
Do you have somebody who takes care of it for you?
Farms it.
Okay.
Has the tobacco and things like that.
And obviously they've cleaned up and made themselves at home.
Now there's music playing in the background, so I gotta stop playing it. But, you know, John Rich showing a story about something that people are... I don't know, there's not enough of a backstory on here. Yeah, property tax is proof you don't own nothing. Yeah, just get rid of these property taxes. This is stupid. Oh, it's eminent domain power companies. I've been doing this for decades. I don't know. I'm just so sick of this stuff. If you're ever going to eminent domain somebody, you need to give them like 3 times. Let them hit the lottery 3 times what it's worth, and you got to set them up in other reasonable accommodations not too far away. If you really have to do something so egregious as to mess with eminent domain. Here's a question, a good agree or disagree question. This girl, Mackenzie CSD, is describing 3 phases of Muslim immigration.
I need help. I come from a very oppressed country. I just need you to respect my culture, my religion. I respect yours too. I come here for freedom. I don't have much, but I respect everyone. I want you to respect me, please.
So that's phase one, where you hear the pleas of, oh, I'm in a tough spot. Can you help?
I don't understand how Westerns don't see that Muhammad and Allah are the answers for everything. Secularism don't exist. They're all infidels. We need to kill them all because they are all infidel. They do not deserve to live according to Quran and Allah. And death to America and every infidel who does not see Islam as their lives, who do not convert to Islam. Islam is the answer. Islam is everything. I do not condemn any attacks from Muslims here. They have every right to do so. We want to enforce Sharia law. The Western culture is not good. We are now imposing Sharia law in this country. If you want to live, you must convert to Islam. You don't convert to Islam, you are killed, or you pay jizya, live as non-Muslim. No rights for you. But we don't do this because we're bad. We do this because Islam is the answer. Prophet Muhammad is the answer. We need everybody to follow Islam. This civilization is so wrong, so wrong. Look at the women. Cover up Sharia law right now. Please, I need help.
So just the comments. So this is a good question with that post. Do you agree or do you disagree? Reading the comments, ex-Muslim from Iran here. You nailed it. This one, I am Syrian and I am telling you, you're absolutely right. This one, cult of rape, pedophilia, and violence will never integrate or live peacefully. They only infiltrate and then dominate. Another post, I'm Hindu from India, and I totally agree with you. This one, yep, in the UK, I experienced phase 1 in the 2000s, phase 2 in the 10s, and been hearing phase 3 happening in the UK. It's embarrassing. This one, as an Iranian, I say you've nailed it. This is happening in Canada now. This one, fact-checked by Iran. This one, you're absolutely correct. This one, and the crazy part is the feminists and leftists in England and France, as far as I can tell, want this. This one, Israel is right. This comment, not only Muslims, every immigrant should respect the culture of the land that they have moved to. This one, Iranian here, 100%, you're right. This one, our forefathers didn't account for radical Islam when they said freedom of religion that needs to change. Oh, and that needs to change. This one, Islam, the great delusion. This one, facts. This one, pretty wild that people are still supporting Muslims in America. They directly oppose the Constitution of the United States, and their goal is to replace it with Sharia law. This one, this comment, so true. First play the victim card, then impose the Quran. This one, accurate AF. This one, all non-Muslim people has to most... okay, can't understand that gibberish. This one, we are in phase 2. This one, commenting, I'm from India and we are facing radicalism from Muslims everywhere in India. This one, this comment, Islam has issues with Jews. Islam has issues with Christianity, with Sanatan Hindu, issues with Buddhism. Moreover, Islam has struggles within Islam itself. Strange but true. This comment, this girl absolutely nailed it. This one, wait, you forgot phase 0 where we bomb their country first. Oh, okay. So there's the first dissenting opinion here out of 20 or 30. Expansionist political ideology disguised as religion. This one saying you're a special and important person. We see this live in Canada and England. This comment, ex-Muslims have my utmost respect. Thank you for speaking. Oh, is she ex-Muslim? I'm not familiar. Following her now. Here in Germany, we're somewhere between step 2 and 2.0 and 2.2. Sad to see it slowly advance. This comment, this is why 90% of people in Iran are now atheists. We have lived the suffering that comes with Islam. There is no radical Islam. It's simply Islam. I mean, the comments are 99% in agreement of that. And when you talk about when you talk about immigration without assimilation is conquest. That's an invasion. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. There's your bumper sticker. Immigration without assimilation is invasion. Just like if your chromosomes include a Y, in sports, you must compete with guys. We're going to get to that Simone Biles story in a moment here. Farmer in the dell, farmer infidel. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer's infidel. And yes, property taxes should be illegal. Thank you for that. Earworm. That little song, Kenneth. Farmer in the Dell. So vote on our poll if you agree or disagree. It's on our Instagram page. Stephen Miller chimes in. Axios says, breaking. Wrongly deported Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia is on his way back to the U.S. Holy shit. They really put this out? Hold on. Hold on. Axios really put this out? Is it backward day? Stephen Miller says, what a moronic headline. MS-13 illegal alien Garcia was correctly deported to his home nation of El Salvador and was subsequently indicted after new evidence of especially heinous crimes. He is now being prosecuted. After a lengthy prison sentence, he is back home to El Salvador. My God, you don't hate outlets like Axios and the Democrat Party nearly enough. They don't just mischaracterize, they willingly lie. They willingly tell you false information. Representative Jamie Raskin. Oh, he's a winner. What gang is he in? He now claims that he doesn't know a single Democrat who defended MS-13 member Kilmar Abrego Garcia after it was revealed Garcia was involved in child trafficking. I haven't seen this quote, but Real State of America reports, Rep. Jamie Raskin publicly stated he doesn't know a single Democrat who defended Garcia, an MS-13 member facing charges for child trafficking. However, this assertion contradicts documented actions by several Democrat lawmakers who previously advocated on Abrego Garcia's behalf. Chris Van Hollen traveled to El Salvador in 25, described him as a Maryland father who was illegally abducted and deported without due process. Anyway, a whole bunch of other people too. If that's a true quote, that's insanity. Not shocking, but a couple posts here. President Trump speaking on Ukraine and Russia. Now that Ukraine decided to take the advice of Mike Pompeo and Lindsey Graham and Dick Blumenthal, talking about a blitzkrieg, that they need to, instead of negotiating for peace, they need to blow up more things. Here's Trump's response.
The bombers inside Russia, did that change your view at all of what's...
I believe the reporter's asking, did what Zelensky did to bomb all those Russian fighter jets change how you feel about what comes next, or something like that?
The cards he has.
Well, they gave Putin a reason to go in and bomb the hell out of him last night. That's something I didn't like about it. When I saw it, I said, here we go. Now it's going to be a strike.
They gave Putin a reason to go bomb the hell out of him. And when I saw it, I go, oh, there you go. So, yeah, there we go. Yesterday, happy birthday to Pete. Hey, let's check out this situation at a Los Angeles business where owners locked ICE agents inside, where ICE allegedly captured 20 people. Crowds wouldn't let agents leave, and ICE called for the FBI for backup. Tear gas was used.
You guys hear that? 300 norte de Los Angeles. 300 north Los Angeles. One of you guys comment, I'll pin it. Everyone. A las 4. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, guys.
Imagine being outraged at getting busted for doing the wrong thing in someone else's country. Like, oh,
guys. 4 o'clock and 3.
Eggs are being thrown at ICE agents and their vehicles after an LA business owner locked ICE agents inside the store. FBI reportedly on the scene.
Leave us in our community alone. Criminal search warrant signed by a federal judge. You are being convicted of federal officers.
They locked the ICE inside the business.
President Trump shared this from David Schoen, just referencing the Elon drama that kicked off. He said, David Schoen says, I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. Trump is asked on whether, according to Insider Paper, asked whether he's considering cutting Elon Musk's government contracts. Says, we'll look at everything, only if it's fair for him and the country. Supersonic is here. President Trump signs an executive order to revolutionize supersonic aviation in the United States by letting aircraft fly faster than the speed of sound. The order scraps regulations imposed in 1973 that banned supersonic commercial air travel. I mean, you're cutting almost half the time off. Net zero carbon flights, they say, designed for comfort, privacy, and productivity. Yeah, my ass. They're going to be packed in there like crazy, just like always. 60,000 feet instead of what, 30,000? Supersonic speed, 2 times faster. There you go. So we shall see. Keep your eyes peeled for supersonic flights. Here's Bannon again.
As a CEO and founder and major shareholder of a company that gets 90% of its revenues of government contracts, he just willy-nilly said he's canceling one of the biggest programs. Coupled with the reports that have not been refuted, he didn't want to deal with it in the Oval when he was asked a question by the Fox reporter. The New York Times story has gone unrefuted. So you have a national security, you have 2 major companies controlled by this guy, and it's somehow, and I say the easiest way to do it is use the Defense Production Act. You've got a management team that I hear underneath him is quite stable. They would run it until that time of his security clearance was sorted out. But I think that has to be done today. I'm the leading fighter against the Chinese Communist Party, of which let's be blunt, he's an agent of influence of the Chinese Communist Party. He's owned lock, stock, and barrel, said this for years. You saw that in what he tried to do in getting Xi over here to the inauguration. He actually forced himself into the Pentagon, which was a huge explosion. And there's a huge article today in the Atlantic magazine that backs up everything I say, that President Trump was outraged when he found out that Elon Musk determined himself to force the generals and the senior staff at the Pentagon to give him a highly classified briefing on the war plans with China. Why would Elon Musk need that other than to maybe talk to his business partners about it? He has no need to know the business plan or the strategic plan and the warfighting plan against the Chinese Communist Party, particularly around Taiwan. Now that that's a very real possibility, as our defense secretary said in Singapore on Saturday, an attack by the Chinese Communist Party, by the PLA, may be imminent in Taiwan. We've put our allies in East Asia on notice. So the question is, why is Elon Musk, who has no need to know of that whatsoever, why was he forcing himself in?
But hold on. But to be fair, Elon's in space. He's digging deep into the earth. He has all the top secret clearances already. He's a part of the federal government already. His companies work with the defense contractors, with the Defense Department of Defense. He's the one that brought back the stranded astronauts. He is a part of our government. He has all the top secret clearances, as far as I know, already. So I don't know if all of this interpretation is as nuanced as it could be or should be, I would say, to say it nicely. I don't know that I'm really buying it this way, but Bannon's been really tough on Elon, and Elon's been acting erratic. But to be fair, Trump's been training Elon to be erratic, watching all the tariff stuff. By the way, the tariff stuff that directly impacts his companies too. And then the EV mandates and the kickbacks and the bonuses and the what are they called? The credits, I guess, tax credits for electric vehicles. I mean, Elon is a part of NASA, and if you think boring with this boring company drilling into the center of the earth under the United States isn't something that's being overseen by the United States government, you're a fool. Of course it is. So I don't know. I mean, Bannon's defending Trump, but into
the Pentagon to get a highly classified brief. That has to be investigated, and his security clearance should be held in abeyance. And with no security clearance, he can't run the companies.
Yeah, he had the security clearance.
So whether you use the Defense Production Act or anything, but I think he shows by this immature.
Okay, hold on. Easy with the immature stuff, because he's sort of, they say in negotiations, you mirror the person you're negotiating with. If they're leaning forward like this, you're gonna want to lean forward like this. If you're leaning back, you might want, if they're leaning back, you might want to lean back. You're supposed to sort of mirror if they're smiling big, you want to smile back big at them. If they're serious, you might want to take it seriously. You're supposed to mirror the person you're talking to. It's one of the number one things that you learn. Sort of, it's like reading the room, fitting in. And so Elon being erratic, like that's what Trump has been doing. There's a plan behind it, but once again, there's a little bit more nuance than just saying, oh, look, he's erratic.
Oh, Bannon's a communist and a retard. The fear he had yesterday.
All right, anyway. But take it for what it is. I mean, Bannon's a smart guy. So weird. This Massey haircut almost kind of looks like he has this crown of thorns thing going on. Is it just me? He almost has like a Jesus-y crown of thorny head thing going on with his haircut, but just curly hair. Anyway, just in, Representative Thomas Massey introduces a bill to audit the Fort Knox Gold Reserve. This is from Congressman Thomas Massey's 4th District of Kentucky. Bill to audit the U.S. gold reserves. Audit everything button. Let's audit it all. And I want to go. I want to be a part of it. I actually did send out a tweet. Again, if you guys are on X, if you could go magnify my message on the New American Media at American_media_. I did reach out, and it does look like thorns. Yeah, I see. I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I'm like, it can't just be me. But if you could go on X and retweet the message that I posted to Carolyn Leavitt and the White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, the White House press secretary, and the White House, I said, hey, it's been months since you said to apply for independent media to become a part of your White House. We're still waiting to find out if you want the New American Media to participate. So if anyone's out there in the TNAM universe, we're at American_media_. Just scroll toward in the last couple of tweets that we shared. We're trying to get in on it. And we also want to go to Fort Knox. It's in our backyard. Let's go. But I don't have any communication with the White House. I've reached out to them to submit press credentials multiple times. We were Secret Service approved at the Republican convention in 2016. We were at all 3 conventions last year. We're a known entity where we're an outlet that you might be able to accurately describe as being somewhat favorable to the MAGA agenda. So what the fuck? Do we say what the fuck too often to be allowed in? Or is it just your 10 pre-approved? It has to be DC Drano and Laura Loomer and 6 other hand-selected people. Otherwise, no. We don't want real independent journalists in there. So come on. Where are you at? Let us in. So if you could please magnify that message by resharing that, liking that, and adding a comment to it, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Deb. She says she'll retweet after the show. Appreciate it. So what is this? Protesters taking hammers, break them down and use against DHS and police. Like, why can't you just tackle this guy and throw him in prison for 10 years? And what are we even doing here? Are these Americans destroying America, or are these illegal alien invaders? Who is doing this? To our own cities. Why are we allowing this? It's about to get way worse unless LAPD is going to persist. Where are the damned arrests for the government error? I just... Should we send these people to El Salvador? That was our question. DHS riot units are not messing around with violent leftist anti-ICE rioters. This is what I voted for. Enough. Go get them. Yeah. Launching projectiles. It's Los Angeles, we're holding. Hiding behind a lady, you dork. Anybody else vote for this? Let's listen to Cash.
And as director of the FBI, I have a responsibility. I'm not just going to bring a case because somebody hurt me. They did. And they continue to do it. Shit, my house just got swatted yesterday.
What?
Yeah. But.
You got swatted?
Oh, yeah.
The head of the FBI gets swatted?
Yeah. Yeah. These people play, it's the ultimate height of hypocrisy. They have two sets of rules. One against you and one for them. And as director of the FBI, I have a responsibility. I'm not just going to bring a case because somebody hurt me. They did. And they continue to do it. Shit, my house just got swatted yesterday.
What?
Yeah. But.
You got swatted?
Oh, yeah.
The head of the FBI gets swatted?
Yeah. Yeah. These people play, it's the ultimate height of hypocrisy. They have two sets of rules. One against you and one for them. And as director of the FBI, I have a responsibility. I'm not just going to bring a case because somebody hurt me. They did. And they continue to do it. Shit, my house just got swatted yesterday.
What?
Yeah. But.
You got swatted?
Oh, yeah.
The head of the FBI gets swatted?
Yeah. Yeah. These people play,
All right.
it's the ultimate height of hypocrisy. They have two sets of rules. One against you and one for them. And as director of the FBI, I have a
Okay. Cash Patel's getting swatted. Come on. Come on. I mean, what is this? This is all just like, woe is me, feel bad for me. Look at us, we're protecting the women. We're not going to release the footage. It could harm the... I just... Cash is swatted. Come on. Really? Yeah, I would go on a field trip to Fort Knox. I want to do it. Well, there were stories, Bella's Chance, about what was going on. That they were flying all the stuff back in, massive transportation, that they were repatriating because Fort Knox had been looted and Trump called him out on it. And now he's cashing, having all the banks send their shit back. But like I said, and this is what I'll say when I go, I'm not buying it. Tungsten roughly weighs the same amount of gold as per my understanding. I could take a look. Actually, let me look online. Let me see what Grok says. Would a bar of gold painted tungsten weigh the same as a bar of gold? Wouldn't be exact, but they could be made to weigh very close if designed with the same dimensions. Oh, God, yeah. Gold has a density of 19.32 grams. Tungsten, 19.25. Almost identical, differing by only about 0.36%. If both bars had the same volume, same size and shape, the tungsten bar would be slightly less. Tungsten is sometimes used in gold bar counterfeiting schemes. I'm not buying it. You open the door and we walk around. Look at the big, beautiful gold. Gold everywhere. I said, we're bringing it back. Too much of this has been in the Vatican or wherever they say. Some say behind the Wailing Wall. I don't know. A lot of people say, I don't know. But we brought it back here to the great state of Kentucky. I'd be like, cool, Mr. President, I see that we're looking at things that look like pallets and they're shiny. The only way that we will actually be able to believe that this is here is to bring in a smelter. I'm Brian Smelter on CNN.
Brian Stelter didn't really talk like that, though. He kind of talked like a little weaselly.
You would have to melt everything. Big, beautiful gold. Entering the golden age of Trump. You would have to melt everything down. And you would have to re-pour every bar, stamp it with a MAGA stamp with a date, with some sort of barcode, some sort of trackable code, so every bar could be put onto a blockchain and maintained and watched under surveillance forever. And you'd have to make a 24/7 live video of nobody ever messing with it. That's the way you can prove that it's there and that it's not going to leave again as soon as the eyes go off of it. The Anunnaki story is that beings from the heavens descended from the skies in chariots of fire, and they needed gold. They needed gold for their the longevity of their life. They needed gold to be on this planet, in this atmosphere, in this ecosystem. In their planet, they needed gold dust to be part of the atmosphere, to be part of the whatever. The Anunnaki needed gold, but all we had were Cro-Magnon men. We had apes, humanoid type creatures. So they took part of their alien DNA with the monkey DNA, merged them together to make something like us, smart enough to work the machines and go down into the gold mines and extract as much gold as possible, but stupid enough to not ask any questions of their overlords. Fuck, if that story hasn't resonated with me for decades since I heard it the first time, I went, oh my God, we're still toiling to just hand banksters our gold. It's the same thing we do. Oh, thanks for this piece of worthless paper in exchange for actual valuable, hard to find materials from the center of the earth. I digress. But yeah, 73 was it when Nixon took us off the gold standard? 71 or 70, I think it was 73. I wonder, I really wonder. Is that gold really there? And can we do an audit? Can we do a real audit? Stamp it MAGA. You got to melt it all down and have a chemist there to make sure you're not melting tungsten. You separate it's not called the chaff, is it? What is it called? Where you melt the impurities out? You separate the wheat from the chaff, but what is it called when you smelt it? He who smelt it dealt it. Monatomic gold for the Anunnaki, allegedly. Yeah, you got to test and audit that big, beautiful gold of the golden age. Anyway, Kash Patel's getting swatted. How'd I get off on gold like that? Hey, here's the face that you make when you realize the person you started talking to is super liberal. Looking, blinking, looking away. Raised eyebrows, look away even further. What the heck? Okay. Anyone else? This dude's like my spirit animal. Yes, the Federal Reserve currency. Who the fuck is the Fed? They're a private banking cartel? You're not the federal government. You're private bankers. Yeah, I don't work for you. You don't own me. You think you're awesome. You've had unlimited power and control for a while. I hope you had a good run. Not your property, bro. Hard assets like silver and gold are desirable. Yeah, but look, people are trading their gold and silver in for Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? It's a theoretical. What is Bitcoin even? You can't craft a ring of Bitcoin. No. Yes, melting the gold is called smelting, but what is it called when they not scrum? Hold on, I'm going to think of it. There's a term for when they remove the impurities. What are the impurities called? Scrum? Oh, and you shouldn't be Googling stuff. You should use Grok. slag. Slag. S-L-A-G. Slag. Because I trust me, if you start mixing tungsten in with gold, you're going to be separating out a lot of slag. 1913, you got the Anti-Defamation League. You got Jekyll Island, the Federal Reserve, the income tax. Wow. It's like the overthrow happened under Woodrow Wilson. Would you like to live under this new shithole experience, or would you like to go back to the golden age where, you know, money had value? One father could go to work and provide a great home and a couple of cars and a picket fence and 2.5 kids and a dog. And the mom could stay home and raise the kids with normal, great human American values. No, instead, now we're both going to work for pennies on the dollar. You can barely afford to survive, and your kids are being brainwashed by purple-haired freaks to establish and accept the New World Order, transgenderism, confusion of gender dysphoria, and a self-hatred of themselves, their culture, their food, their history, and their country, and their God. Can we go back to 1912? We can. Is there a will to do that? I don't know. All right, here's the four-dimensional chess. Do you agree or disagree with this dude? Elon versus Trump. What say you?
Between Trump and Elon, I'm going to explain the genius of that to you. It's all about...
Oh, never mind. I'm not going to because there's music in the background. I was going to play this video on the TNAM Daily Show today, but your inclusion of the AC/DC song means that we would have been banned by Google, YouTube, from sharing. I typed sharting, sharing the content globally. Just an FYI. Anyway, it's about, like, you know, now you got Democrats like praising Elon and saying we need to cut more out of the budget. And it's like, yeah, that's how you get the Democrats on board with cutting and to actually pass something. Show a rift, and, you know, now they're on team Elon, and then they push for the same stuff Elon was saying, and then you actually get a reconciliation bill. Maybe. I don't know. What is this? It all started to go downhill with TV dinners. Yeah. Well, TV, tell-lie-vision. Why do you think they call it programming? You're programmed. Yeah, go back and watch my interviews with Jordan Maxwell. He does a whole great bit about that. The Fed and the central banks continue to have unlimited power and authority. End the Fed, the source of it all. Yeah. Lower interest rates. Get rid of usury. I hate interest. We should all hate interest in banksters. 100%. Anyway, I can't play that video, so I'll continue. Federal agents outnumbered by the crowd in Los Angeles. Hi, Nimbus. LAPD is refusing to assist.
Not involved in civil immigration enforcement, while the LAPD will continue to have a visible presence in all of our communities to ensure public safety. We will not assist or participate in any sort of mass deportations. Again, a statement coming from LAPD Chief Jim McDonald.
And that has pretty much been the position in the city of Los Angeles, as the chief pointed out, since 1979. Interesting here,
Since 1979, they've said that they're not going to defend their city from an illegal alien invasion. This is allegedly in the Fashion District downtown.
The crowd advancing on what we believe to be ICE officers who are basically backpedaling with their hand on the shoulder of the officer in front of them as they cautiously try to back out of the street and I guess get into the waiting vehicles and leave the scene. But at this point, they're clearly outnumbered.
They certainly are, and they're slowly making their way out of here.
And I believe this is all FBI at this point.
The LAPD is not.
So there's that.
I'm proud to see that because throughout the country, the people are standing up to these ICE agents who are, covering their faces, terrorizing our community, and really
terrorizing a community. Bro, you snuck in illegally and you got to go. That's not terrorizing. You're terrorizing the United States by invading and infiltrating, trying to invade this country and change us. That's not how you change a nation. It's you guys that are causing the problem. Don't turn this back on law enforcement.
Violating all human rights. Right now, there's more than 200 people at the downtown LA courthouse who are basically in a dungeon downstairs with no restrooms, not enough food and water. This is a situation that's a violation of all human rights, and that's why the people of LA.
Oh, good grief. It's a violation of human rights. You're an illegal alien invader. Oh, things were slightly uncomfortable temporarily. Oh, was it? Slightly uncomfortable when you broke into our country? Oh, I'm so sorry for your inconvenience. An escalator cannot break. It can only temporarily become stairs. Sorry for the convenience. Yes, you're right. Nimbus has made his appearance. I think he's ready for his lunch. He's like, Dad, you've been talking a long time since breakfast. He nibbled on my nose yesterday, and I had to bop him. I said, no, sir. No biting. No biting and fighting. Here, let's go full screen so we can see Nimbus. Hi.
They are standing up and resisting.
Oh, they're standing up and resisting.
We saw a similar raid to.
I'm proud to see.
How brave.
At the Los Angeles Federal Detention Center on Alameda to make sure that everyone comes out.
LAPD refusing to help. We said it's treason to allow an illegal alien invasion of the United States. It's time to investigate the LAPD for treason.
To denounce what's happening, because if they continue to do these raids in Los Angeles, we will resist them. We're going to continue to organize.
We will continue to resist them. That's treason.
They cannot go anywhere in the city without resistance.
All right.
They cannot go anywhere in this. Who's talking here? They cannot go anywhere without resistance. Who are we? It's not saying who's talking.
All right. Thank you, Ron.
Ron. Who's Ron?
Stay with us. We'd appreciate it. The time now is 2 o'clock. We're going to extend our coverage here into the 2 o'clock hour. Again, at least 3 ICE raids that we are aware of here in Los Angeles. The one in the Westlake District. We've been witnessing the one in the Fashion District, which things became a little bit heated.
At the Los Angeles.
So that's happening. Keep your eyes peeled. Bring in the National Guard if LAPD is not going to assist. Chief of Police Jim McConnell here for LAPD says, today the LAPD became aware that federal law enforcement agencies conducted activities in the city of Los Angeles. I'm aware that these actions cause anxiety for many Angelinos. No, you're not an Angelino if you don't belong here. You're an illegal alien invader. You're not an Angelino. You're not a Maryland man. You're not a Maryland father. You're not an Angelino. You're not a Californian. You're not an American. I'm aware these actions cause anxiety for many Angelinos. No, these are not Angelinos. These are illegal aliens. Come on, Nimbus, are you sitting on my lap? There you go. That's good. Okay. Oh, there we go. So I want to make it clear, the LAPD is not involved in civil immigration enforcement. While the LAPD will continue to have a visible presence in all our communities to ensure public safety, we will not assist or participate in any sort of mass deportations, nor will the LAPD try to determine an individual's immigration status. Why would you not do that? Step number 1, when you arrest somebody, step number 1, papers, please. Papers, please. Yeah, you ask for an ID every time. If you don't have it, all right. Are you in the country legally or not? And if not, sayonara. They are actively working against the interests of the United States of America. Since 1979, our policy has barred officers from initiating police action solely to determine a person's immigration status. The department remains focused on critical issues like crime reduction, enhancing public safety, and improving the quality of life for all Angelinos. I want everyone, including our immigrant communities, to feel safe calling the police in their time of need and know that LAPD will be there for you without regard to one's immigration status. We said, hey, LAPD, illegal invasion is a critical issue. I just, for the life of me, don't get it. So Peter Schiff, was this true? Let me ask Grok. Did Peter Schiff post some weird pedo stuff yesterday? Let's find out what Grok says. Yes. Okay, Grok confirms this is a real thing. Yeah, saying Angelino doesn't make it so. Make it so, Angelino. Hey, don't call me a slagget, Kenneth. Yeah, I was doing Nose Kisses with Nimbus. Actually, that's a good name for like a punk band or a song, Nose Kissing Nimbus. Man, no. He's very sweet, but whoop, you're sliding. You're sliding. Ah, what's happening? Okay. I'll get you your lunch soon, buddy. So Peter Schiff posted this. An American economist, stockbroker, financial commentator, known for libertarian and Austrian school economic views, CEO, chief global strategist of Euro-Pacific Capital, a brokerage firm, founder of Schiff Gold, precious metals dealer, predicting the 2008 financial crisis, pushes gold and silver assets. Famously criticized Bitcoin as a Ponzi scheme. Oh. Well, what was this? Peter Schiff says, FYI, pedos are attracted to prepubescent girls and boys. I'm not defending Epstein, but he had sex with teenage girls, 14, 15, 16, 17, that had physically developed sexually. They were underage, so criminal and immoral, but that does not make him a pedophile. Actually, I have a question now. What episode did Bart say, what an odd thing to say? Was it the crust, the I Didn't Do It Boy? Bart's Inner Child, season 5. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Homer I love the word unnecessarily here. In 1993. In the scene, Homer unnecessarily explains that the family is attending a self-help seminar, prompting Bart's comment as a meta joke about awkward expository dialogue in sitcoms. What an odd thing to say. What was Homer's exact quote? Kids, we're going to a self-help seminar to fix our family. Self-help guru Brad Goodman. What an odd thing to say. Anyway, that's what I had to share with you on Instagram today. Got to get to Simone Biles, so let me do a little bit on X here. This way? Yeah, I'll do it this way. Yes, there's our link right there, pinned to the top of our X feed. It's our Patreon link if anybody wants to sign up to be a monthly supporter. Yep, Musk drops really big bomb. A really big bomb. Really big show. Check out that video there. Simone Biles is just full of misogynistic bile. All right. Fear Buck reports that a judge just approved a $2.8 billion NCAA settlement. Schools can now start paying athletes $20.5 million a year, and $2.7 billion will go to former players as back pay. What? Back pay? In arguably the biggest change in college sports history, back pay. Oh, well, I'm going to have to unpack this story a little bit later. Wall Street Apes reports here. Larry Johnson, former CIA officer, speaking here, says, makes an accusation. Bank records show Senator Lindsey Graham is laundering money from the Ukraine war back to his personal bank accounts, saying significant amount of money are being laundered to Senator Lindsey Graham. There will be news coming out in the next couple months about how he's profited financially off of the money that came out of Ukraine, laundered through Latvia, and made it his way into his bank account. Now we're talking significant amounts of money. Department of Justice is looking at it. There's serious allegations leveled by a CIA officer, former CIA officer, Larry Johnson. All right, Alex is pointing this out. Let's go.
Do you remember that HBO autopsy show? Dr. Michael Baden, he's a famous forensic scientist. So he's a pathologist, and he reviewed the case, and it was his determination that it was a homicide because of the way his neck was broken. And what he said was it was indicative of a ligature strangulation. And it was because of the positioning on the neck where the marks were, that it wasn't indicative of someone hanging by their weight, which had been higher on the chin. And there's a specific break of the bones and the vertebrae that's consistent with someone who is just strangled to death.
I haven't seen it. I'll definitely take a look at it because that's part of my job.
You haven't seen that?
The report.
How did he never see that? That's like the one of the biggest points of contention. Like, he couldn't have done this the way that they said it was.
I haven't seen it. I'll definitely take a look at it because that's part of my job.
You haven't seen that?
The report on that? No, I haven't looked at that.
Did you see any? Was there any other autopsy done other than the official one?
Not to my knowledge, but if there was, you'll get it, and that's what we're doing.
See if you can find that Dr. Michael Baden thing.
Yeah. No,
Did you remember that?
Yeah, we're not going to wait to see if you find it. We're going to show you right now, Cal.
That show, the HP.
Look at that suspicious, squinty-eyed. Are you kidding me right now, motherfucker? That is Joe Rogan go, are you kidding me, motherfucker? You got to be kidding me right now, fool. That is a look of a suspicious Joe Rogan. Rightfully.
Real show?
No.
Pretty cool show.
Yeah.
So this guy, Dr. Michael Baden, he had a long career of catching murderers, exhuming bodies, finding trace amounts of poisons, different kinds of things. And it was a crazy show, like all these wild ways.
Well, I love watching shows, and I spend a lot of time on planes. So.
Yeah, it was an old show. It was a show like from the early 2000s, I believe. But this guy was like, this very well-respected forensic scientist who would analyze these bodies, and it was his determination that he was murdered.
Yeah. And my job, going back to the core of what I've been doing since I studied Russiagate, was to get, and is to get everybody the information.
When did you get here? Epstein's autopsy points to homicide. Pathologist hired by brother claims. New York City medical examiner strongly disputed the claim that the evidence from the autopsy suggested strangulation. So let's go to by the way, this is the New York Times, and they never lie. The private pathologist, Dr. Michael Baden, said the morning TV show Fox and Friends, Mr. Epstein experienced a number of injuries, among them a broken bone in his neck, that are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and could occur much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. I think the evidence points to homicide rather than suicide, said Dr. Baden, who observed the autopsy done by city officials. Dr. Baden, a former New York City medical examiner and a Fox News contributor, said, I have not seen in 50 years where that occurred in suicidal hanging case. Findings by Dr. Baden were strongly disputed by the city's chief medical examiner, Dr. Barbara Sampson, who previously ruled that Mr. Epstein's death on August 10th in the Metropolitan Correctional Center was a suicide. I stand firmly behind our determination of the cause and manner of death in this case, Dr. Sampson said in the interview on Wednesday. She added, in general, fractures of the hyoid bone and cartilage can be seen in suicides and homicides. The hyoid bone is near the Adam's apple. Dr. Sampson also dismissed Dr. Baden's contention that the circumstances around Mr. Epstein's death suggested other people may have been involved. She said her office had done a complete investigation, taking into consideration information gathered by law enforcement in making the determination.
So this is a perfect example of going back to my public defender and prosecutor days. This is what we call a war of experts. You can always find someone to come in and say the opposite.
Right.
And I used to do it all the time. I mean, I represented some of the worst humans that you can possibly imagine on earth, literally. The guys that were trafficking children from Mexico into America. And you could put up a professional expert to say, and this is what's going to go on forever. And my job is not the forever. My job is to get you absolutely everything that we can give you.
Ultra Methylene Blue is now available in sealed capsules, supercharged with organic.
Okay, don't need to sell that. But yeah, was he hugged to death? No, don't think so. I mean, how could Kash Patel say he's never seen that report? Like, that's day one shit. That's day one shit. That is, if you're actually doing what you claim to be doing, which I don't believe. I don't believe him. I just don't. He's lost his credibility with me. Love it or leave it. I ain't buying it. All right. Where are we at? Yep. There we go. Okay. Gutfeld goes off on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Let's go.
Not convicted of anything, left to rot in a foreign prison.
He has been convicted.
He has not.
Yes, he has. Hey, he's illegal. He's been arrested. And get this, he's not an American citizen. If you want to spend all your attention trying to protect a human trafficker, you can do that. What I love about this is that in order to find this out, we had to send him to El Salvador, which created this unstable hysteria among camera-chasing Democrats, which forced this guy's crimes into plain view. Suddenly, the Maryland dad, and that's what you called him, was no ward cleaver, more like Freddy Krueger, a wife-beating gangbanger, human smuggler. So if the Dems hadn't run to his defense, we might not have seen how bad they are and how stupid your party is.
Really.
And it's not about the man, says Van Hollen. The Dems compelled us to feel for him. They wanted his name in our heads. I have seen that picture more times than I've seen pictures of my dog, Gus. Why does the media always use one picture? Yeah. This guy, I mean, look, the picture is supposed to tell you, hey, he's a normal guy. You know, he doesn't look at child porn. He doesn't embezzle kids. Just look at him with his backward hat. You know, they demanded that we abide by their outrage narrative. What they didn't count on was that their poster child for persecution was actually the persecutor. And unlike Van Hollen, I am sincere when I say that scumbag is irrelevant. Not Van Hollen, but he is a scumbag. The criminal. It's the demand that the media and the Democrats have for us to accept their narrative. They did this with George Floyd. They did this with Michael Avenatti. They did this with Jussie Smollett. They did this with BLM. They did this with Greta Thunberg. They did this with Joe Biden. And they did this with Hamas. Did I say BLM yet?
Yes.
Okay. Every narrative that they feed us turns out to be horribly wrong. They're either a poor judge of character or they don't give an F whether they're telling the truth or not. The Dems can only blame themselves, Jessica, because they compelled themselves.
Yeah, they can only blame themselves. And of course, we're not fans of theirs. They're full of it. Their narratives fall apart, if not 100% of the time, a lot of the time. Tim Poole says the UK government, Inevitable West, the UK government just designated millions of British citizens terrorists. It's not hard to see where this is going. They're saying extreme right wing. By the way, there is no such thing as the extreme right wing or the far right wing. That's what they say about the right wing. They just try to make it dangerous to be normal. Oh, you're cis. No, I'm normal. Cis is a term. What did Norm Macdonald say? Cis, what's that? Oh, that's just a term that they use to marginalize normal people. I don't use their language. I don't play that game. So terrorist ideologies in Great Britain, cultural nationalism. Western culture is under threat from mass migration and a lack of integration by certain ethnic and cultural groups. Yeah, these are now terrorist ideologies to defend your country. That's what UK is. UK is conquered, says LOL Tim Pool. LOL, the UK is conquered. Luke Radowski saying there's a big difference between these two videos. Can you spot what it is?
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? It's Epstein's list. What the hell are they doing? It's the Epstein list. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything, but how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress, and this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
Wow, that's kind of different, huh? All it takes is a friendly visit from the FBI director to convince Joe Rogan that Epstein offed himself, and there's no compromising videos of powerful people from Epstein Island. Just like that, the deep state gets a makeover is a benign force for podcast truth, says Michael Chasey. Babylon B says, Simone Biles calls for all female athletes to just give up like she did. Yeah. Simone Vile. All right, President Trump talking about Elon. Let's get the latest.
People, we're lucky to have, I have to tell you, I want to thank you all. And Elon, I want to thank you. I know you've been through a lot with this horrible situation that happens.
The cause,
That's right. Saving America.
It's very unfair. What he is a patriot. Here's a man that I can tell you, he's a friend of mine. He's become a friend of mine. He supported me in the election. That's when I got to know him. Really, I knew him a little bit from the first term, but not much. But he's a patriot more than anything else. He's never, think of it, he has never asked me for a thing. He could have. I always say, I wonder if he's ever going to ask me for something. And that's always subject to change. And if it does change, I'll let you know about it. But Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the electric car mandate. I have no idea how that affects him, but possibly not good. I don't know. But he's never asked me for a thing. And I think that's an amazing tribute. I did get activated last week when I saw what they were doing. I said, he makes an incredible product, and we're going to go out and tell people you can't do that stuff and support him. They got to support him, because if he wasn't doing this, he wouldn't have any of these difficulties. And I think it's getting less and less. Pam has done a great job with regard to all of the, I mean, I know the kind of investigations that are going on. If she finds them, which she will, she already found 4 of them. But I think they're going to suffer very grave consequences, because they're really terrorists when you think about it. They're terrorists at a high level. And I think the people that are financing them, they could very well be people I know, people that you write about. But those people are in big trouble, so they better cut it out. But Elon's a patriot. We want to thank you very much for the job you're doing. Thank you very much.
So that was from before, and it's like that's how things have gone so off the rails. Elon posted that. Elon never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the EV mandate. He never asked me for a thing. Elon's a patriot. We want to thank you much for the job you're doing. Elon's like, raised eyebrow. Deb's saying, I almost peed myself. It was the cross-eyed thing again. Cross-eyed hurricane. Yeah, that's his new nickname, Cross-Eyed Hurricane. So Jason Whitlock is going to share this. This player ripping at the hair of this other player. And you have to notice that these are players of different races.
I saw that at the
There's been a lot of accusations that the black players in the WNBA are going after to intentionally injure the white players in the WNBA, and the league is not helping them. They're not coming to their defense, and some people have said, Caitlin Clark, some of these other abused players need to get out of this league. You're being targeted because of your skin color. Yes, welcome to 2025. On the plus side, we're finally talking about the WNBA. On the negative side, more anti-white hatred.
Olympics.
Carrington.
So is this a basketball play here?
Whoa!
That looks like an intentional ponytail yank and ripped down. I mean, she pulls back on it, and then she puts her hands up like she didn't do anything. Jason Whitlock says, here's another accident from Dijonai Carrington. She should be banned from the WNBA, but no one can dare ask a question about this pattern of behavior because asking a question would be racist. So, there's more of that happening in the sports world. X is not real life. An Anon with 195 followers just convinced Elon to not decommission Dragon. Anything can happen on X. Never stop posting, Anon. So Alaska, with 195 followers, says, this is a shame, this back and forth. You are both better than this. Cool off and take a step back for a couple of days. Elon replies, good advice. Okay, we won't decommission Dragon. Spitfire is saying Elon has now deleted these replies. Getting text messages about today's show that I was letting it rip. They're saying, uh-oh, how many times have you said fuck? I said, a few. I've done 20 voices too. Yeah, I'm also getting text messages on one device, navigating this, going to another screen for X, going back to this device. I'm getting messages in real time about Cash Patel on Facebook on this one. I should show you the view that I see sometime. I'm not going to, but I should. But yeah, oh yeah, I let it rip. That's for doggone sure. Elon now deleted these replies. Oh, I'm going to ask him. Right, but I'm asking your perspective, Seth. Is there a scenario or something that jumps out to you in particular that I should pay extra special attention to? Because yeah, I've been covering clip after clip after clip that I believe are in full context, several minutes long to unpack it. And I just find myself yelling at Cash Patel all show. More than 2 hours now I've been yelling at Cash Patel. I've been doing my cross-eyed impersonation of him. I'm calling him Cross-Eyed Hurricane. That's his new nickname. Cross-Eyed Hurricane. Thanks, Kenneth, for that one. I'm so petty. So Elon is saying, what's the apology for exactly? Be precise. I will apologize profusely as soon as there is a full dump of the Epstein files. And then Elon deleted these replies, allegedly. I will apologize profusely as soon as there is a full dump of the Epstein files. Well, you ain't getting it. Nobody's getting it. We want it. We're demanding it. I'm a great multitasker. I make it look easy. Thanks. During my interview with John B. Wells, toward the end, he was like, you know, Brian, I don't know if I'm working on outdated infrastructure and materials, but your ability to pull up the files as we're talking about them in real time, it's pretty impressive, or something along those lines. I was like, thank you, John B. Wells. I could show you how to do it. I could produce your show if the pay were right. But yeah, I love using Restream and having all these. I'm constantly having to resize the shape of the screen and getting the next comments up and going back and forth. It's a lot. See, I wrote a joke about Elon. He's just upset because I removed the EV mandate. Mandate. That's the isn't that what Lindsey Graham had over the weekend in Ukraine? Mandate. I get it. Come on now, fellas. I'm the most hetero man you know. Don't you need to be making those jokes about a mandate from me? I'm a man's man, Lindsey Graham. That's what they say. Bless your heart. See, it rhymes. I'm a man's man, Lindsey Graham. So you can ease up on those mandate jokes, okay? He said mandate. It's kind of funny. That was like a part of the bit that I was going to do this week. Circumstances changed, so I wasn't able to perform. But I was going to I was going to have them laughing at Lindsey Graham about his mandate. Anyway, these things make me chuckle. All right. Look at that look off to the side. Guilty Kash Patel. Breaking. FBI Director Kash Patel asked by Joe Rogan if Elon had access to the Epstein files in reference to Trump and Musk online feud. Whew. Listen to this.
Since we were talking about fake news, this is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation
What
between
is he?
Elon
Have a
and Trump.
nice day, DJT. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back.
I was doing this live when fuck it, we'll do it live. This shit sucks. Bill O'Reilly. Keep it pithy. I don't know how to keep it pithy. Okay, this is actually a kind of cool moment because this was happening as they were recording. Because as I was recording, I'm like, oh my God. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. Deb saying it's rare to find a live stream podcast with comedy built in. I try. I think AJ tries too. I think I just do. I think AJ just does. Yeah, I mean, even comedy podcast, there are a lot of comedy podcasts as well, but I've told Kenneth, like, I would love to maybe rework the show and condense the length of it. If we could just focus on like the top 5 stories, but write jokes about them and do a nice 10-minute monologue off the top. God, I would love that. But I mean, it's not. Okay. And look, sweetheart, it's not like Bill Maher doesn't have a team of writers, okay? All right. Okay, sweetheart. Yeah, Bill Maher has a whole team of writers, so just like most of these people do. I don't know. I would love to like maybe reformat and focus more on the comedic aspect, but there's so much interesting shit to break down and so many perspectives, and your comments probably make the show twice as long, but I have more fun doing it this way. So yeah, the show kind of diverts and we go off-roading, but then we eventually get back on the road. Kenneth is ready. David, everything is just bullshit. Maybe I was thinking about getting mugs because I was getting comments that they love my Don't Tread on Me mug. And I was like, it's not like somebody owns the image rights to the Don't Tread on Me, right? That's a universal image from the 1700s and Ben Franklin. But yeah, maybe I should get a coffee mug that says everything is bullshit. I could do that. Maybe Don't Tread on Me one side, and then on the other side I'll say everything is bullshit. Yeah, I don't know of many people doing the Kash Patel impersonation and if they're doing the cross-eyed or not. And what'd you say? I've spit out my coffee and got it up my nose a few times when Brian catches me off guard. Yes. I was out to dinner with a colleague of a friend of mine whatever it was that I said in the moment, it caught him off guard, and he literally did a spit take. He was mid-bite or mid-drink, and he had a spit take. And he laughed and laughed and laughed and said, he's like, I am so embarrassed. He goes, that was a legitimate spit take, like in the cartoons. And I'm like, yes. If I could just record that moment and play it back, it's those little things that keep me going. I'll tell 99 shitty jokes as long as I get one like that. The crossed eyes are the best. You see, Joe, the one thing about the Trump administration is that you shouldn't cross us like my eyes. This show can evolve into whatever you want, Brain. I know it's Brian. It's your show, but having a guest who does impressions with you would be epic. Yeah, I like to tell a little joke. More like a spittle joke. Meals with Brian. Yeah, that's where I wanted to find you lunch with Larry. Ooh, maybe it is this one. Let me play the beginning of this because... Wait, let me scroll through. Do I jump to it? I'm scrolling. Hold on. No, this isn't my... So this is my sit down with Larry Elder. I did another sit down with Larry Elder. And it was lunch with Larry. And I did this little... The Agree to Disagree show. We're at a tipping point. It's Larry Elder. I don't know where that lunch with Larry thing went. You know, I'm typing in mine. They shadow ban my conversations with Larry Elder because Larry's an effective communicator. No, this is not video. This is just audio. Hillary accused of intimidating Clinton's accusers. Larry Elder and Brian Engelman discuss. But I did this whole, it's lunch with Larry. I thought it was the one I just played for you. But it didn't show it because I did it right at the beginning.
Buddy Brian Engelman here with the New American Media.
Anyway, I can't find it. But I did a whole, it's lunch with Larry. And I played the kazoo and showed a picture of, I drew a, it was craptacular. I designed it to be craptacular, which made it hilarious in my mind. So Meals with Brian was lunch with Larry. Because I had lunch with Larry. He was having lunch and then we talked for a while, but then we waited for him to finish. And if I can find that, I would love to put that into a short because it was so craptacular. Anyway, back to this video here. But I love how this show is in real time. Joe's reaction was my same reaction going, oh, dear God.
Elon just put out a little bit ago.
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation
What
between
is he?
Elon
Have
and
a
Trump.
nice day, DJT. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Yeah. Listen,
Well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
yeah, they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way out.
I don't know how he would.
Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to...
He's looking down. He's looking away. Body language.
Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What the fuck are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't... I mean, I understand he owns Twitter. I think it's bad for your mental health.
Ultra Methylene Blue is now available.
Owning Twitter is bad for your mental health. I mean, well, you know. All right. Gunther Engelman says that we should reinstate the Smith-Mundt Act. of 1948. This act blocked the government from being able to use propaganda on the American population in the world. It was repealed by Obama in 2012, and it needs reinstated ASAP. Yes, I agree. Charlie Kirk commentary says, you do realize that the 8 million people losing Medicaid and the 3 million losing SNAP benefits are not entitled to those benefits in the first place. It's called fraud. Well, not really. Obamacare completely jacked up the medical insurance situation. And there's a lot of people that sign up for their state's exchanges and they're like, I don't have income right now. Is there anything I qualify for? And then you go, yeah, all right, we'll put you on Medicaid. And you're like, okay. That's not for illegal aliens. So it's slightly disingenuous to use this phraseology regarding the topic. So I would encourage you to maybe consider that's not entirely accurate. All right, so let's check this out. Simone Biles. Molly Hemingway saying, body shaming a remarkably fit and beautiful Riley Gaines in defense of male abuse of women in sports sure is a disgusting way to go. Look at this. This is the size of the male she had to compete against. Why would you compete against a male? And what type of male are you to compete against females? Simone Biles says, bully someone your own size. Riley Gaines, which would ironically be a male. No, look at that. Head and shoulders above. Redheaded Libertarian says, Simone Biles was sexually assaulted by Larry Nassar as a child, yet attacks a woman fighting to keep males out of girls' spaces. This is the absolute state of the woke mind virus. Oof. Olivia Krolchik says, should have sat this one out, just like you did at the Olympics when you walked away from your team. Ooh. Oh, that's awesome. Level of Savage. There's Fred Savage. Is that Ben Savage? Macho Man Randy Savage and Pocahontas. Oh, that's funny. Whew. Should have sat this one out. We'll show you some more about Simone Biles in a second. But this attorney representing 70 Epstein victims says Trump was the only... Well, here, let's just listen in his own words. This one is important.
Post. Additionally, we have a really important piece of video. This comes to us from a lawyer who represented 70 of Epstein's victims, who said that the only guy that he got in touch with who was very helpful to going after Jeffrey Epstein was one Donald J. Trump. Take a look, cut 3 here. This lawyer, again, who represented Epstein victims, who said Trump's the good guy in this story. Look.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump
Derek Rose
is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009. So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patterson's claims that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
I've definitely heard that.
I've definitely heard that. Okay, so that gets to the next piece of evidence in Trump's favor. President Trump, by now, you likely know, but for those who don't, he banished Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for harassing a member's daughter. Take a look here. This is an old CNBC report on the subject, but I want to make sure you get a hold of it here. Trump banned Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after these sex criminal hit on another member's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's that. All right. So if you're kind of concerned, is Trump on the list? Is he this or that? It's like he's kind of like the only guy that tried to get Epstein thrown in shackles. One bad dude here says, nobody working 40 hours a week should be living in poverty, Bernie Sanders says, allegedly. It's like, What's the bottom of this, Adam Sandler? Dude, and stop giving their money to people working 0 hours a week. I haven't done an Adam Sandler in a while either. Shampoo is better. I need the hair silky and smooth. They're all gonna laugh at you. All right, Luke says the way that JD navigates this complex back and forth with grace is eerily impressive. So go check that out. Elon says this is on target. This is what Democrats want you to do.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
health
record,
care.
as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a
health
yes.
care.
That's a yes.
I'm such a
That's a
positive.
Democratic
I mean,
position.
it is a yes, but yeah,
It's a Democratic
everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean,
How is it controversial?
But
how is it controversial?
How is it?
So this here is a textbook example of suicidal empathy. And that's because it prioritizes emotional optics over resource sustainability, national boundaries, along with our citizens' priorities and their needs. It feels compassionate, but it ignores hard trade-offs, like hospitals being overwhelmed, public systems being strained, and taxpayers funding the care for people who broke the law to enter our country. That creates a terrible incentive structure. This isn't strength.
Yeah.
This is quite literally boundaryless, meaning having no boundaries. So boundaryless emotion posing as virtue. It's empathy that's become self-destructive, meaning we're going to sacrifice America to appear more morally superior or to allow ourselves to feel more morally superior. This is a problem. We do not need people like this in government.
No, I agree there. Elon agrees. All right. Chuck Schumer says Donald Trump's trade war is the biggest tax hike on American families in half a century. It's a gut punch to American families. Clandestine says you took $200+ billion of our tax dollars and sent it to Ukraine. You and your ilk have been laundering our tax dollars for decades. Your wealth is from money that you stole from the American taxpayer. Shut the fuck up. Clandestine says, damn, Senator Schumer. I'm pretty sure that if you get ratioed this badly, you have to delete your account and then retire. Them's the rules. Yeah, that's 7.1 thousand to 320. Luke Radowski says we're on borrowed time. We might be. PNW Gorilla says there's never been something the government has done or planned or doing in my lifetime that I'm more against than Palantir. And then 6 months ago, it was Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk with Palantir right there on the Army-Navy scoreboard. Beware of Palantir. For those of you who are having a hard time keeping up, the Patriot Voice says, Palantir, which is more or less a quasi-intelligence agency with ties to both CIA and Mossad, acting as a contractor, just effectively and effortlessly cooed the whole U.S. government through the Trump administration to build out an AI-powered database of all American sensitive information at a capacity never seen before. This database will be weaponized against us all once the social credit system is in place, and you can and will become a target if you dare to dissent. Just like how China runs their society, which is the model for the UN, WEF, NWO plans for the world, especially America. Your constitutional rights are being stomped on and subverted by a third-party corporation, in which the CEO, Peter Thiel, says, I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible. America is a wholly occupied nation, and we are in big trouble. Shit. Trump taps Palantir to create a master database on every American. This Carly says, to my diehard Second Amendmenters terrified of a registry and basic gun control, Team Trump just hired Palantir to build a master database on everyone, not just your guns, your whole life. Where you at? Melissa says, I'm confused. The government already has my info in crappy systems. They're directly responsible for my details being put in the deep, dark web. We certainly need a better, more secure system. I have a phone. Foreigners probably have more info on me than my own country. I think that's a fair point in response to David Icke saying, I've warned MAGA since 2016 that Trump was a Trojan horse telling them what they wanted to hear to get them on board with the dystopian agenda by another route. or at least to have them so mesmerized and in awe of their savior that they wouldn't see he was saying one thing while doing exactly the opposite for his masters in the shadows. Rogan, Jones, Carlton, Owens, Brand, Carroll, Poole, Johnson, Shapiro, Kirk, Peterson, etc. all promoted him and helped to get him across the finish line. Some are trying to distance themselves now, others doubling down. Either way, the damage has been done, and how some don't know that Trump was controlled by Israel all along is a shocker. Now, ever more people can see what the game has always been, trawling government databases by Musk and Doge and executive orders to create a master database essential for social credit system control by AI and Palantir in targeting rather than protecting freedom of speech and opinion. It was so obvious what was going to happen, but being told what you want to hear is as potent and mind-bending as any drug. Time to break the trance. So yeah, Trump taps Palantir to create a master database on everyone in the world. Homie Santos says that's what Elon does. He doesn't get his way. He goes talking about the Twitter feud. He doesn't get his way. He goes nuclear, and then he realizes he went too far, then deletes the posts. I like the guy, but you have to admit he's an emotional dude. Trump acted stoic as hell during the whole thing and even wished Elon well. Leading report says Elon deleted his post saying Trump is not releasing the Epstein files because he's in them. Let me ask if that's exactly true. Is this true? Because he did delete some stuff. Yes, he deleted posts on X where he claimed Trump was named in the Epstein files, suggesting that's why they were released. Well, they remain unreleased. Multiple sources, including Time, the Economic Times, and ABC News. Hang on, I'm going to respond to this guy. Okay. I'll commit to watching 10,000 hours of content in each 24-hour cycle to be better. That's mathematically possible. All right. I'm being told that I'm half-assing my research. I'm being called clickbait Brian. I need to be better because it's half-assed, informed stuff that I'm doing. If I'm going to comment informed, yes, do your diligence. I'm not open at this point. I let clips persuade me. Do the damn critical thinking and research. I'm lacking, hence the thought. You are going off of clips. He says he will get me to be a full critical thinker because I know you want to be correct. He says, I haven't watched it all, neither have you. Don't be a lazy demon rat. Don't do demon rat stuff. Watch the real thing. Have I watched the entire episode of Rogan and Cash? I'm like, I've been watching the clips. Less than 10 minutes in, I think this is something worth watching. I've been covering it all day, but that's not good enough for this person that shared the video with me and wanted me to watch it. Hold on. I'll say it again. All right, but I'm asking, if I watch the full Cash Rogan video, I'll see what? You said you were 10 minutes in, you thought it's worth watching. You said you haven't watched it. So what am I missing because I'm commenting on 20 minutes of it? I'm just not following what I'm allegedly getting wrong by being lazy, because there's no way to watch 10,000 hours of everybody's content every day in a 24-hour cycle when I do a 3-hour show each day. That's 1/8 of each day. I'm covering the shit in the news. I'm doing the best that I can, Seth. I'm a research team of one. So since you haven't watched the whole video clip and you're giving me grief, what am I getting wrong? All right, I'm getting testy with Seth. I don't think Seth's an enemy or anything, but it's like, you know, give me some grief here. Just, you know, yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. Russ Vogt put this out here. He said OMB, Office of OMB is OMB, Office of OMB stands for not ombudsman. No, OMB, Office of Management and Budget. There we go. I got to change the aspect ratio here. You're not seeing the whole clip. There we go. All right. He says Office of, I just looked this up, Management and Budget. Just review, Office of Management and Budget just reviewed the new Congressional Budget Office score on the One Big Beautiful Bill. It confirms what we knew about the bill at the House passage. The bill reduces deficits by $1.4 trillion over 10 years. When you adjust for CBO's one big gimmick, not using a realistic current policy baseline, it includes $1.7 trillion in mandatory savings, the most in history. If you care about deficits at all, this bill drastically improves the fiscal picture. I hope that's true. I don't know if that's true. But I'm hearing more and more stuff. The more they're digging in, they're like, this is kind of the best we could hope for at this point. Cat Turd here says, in 2015, in a debate in the Republican primary, Donald Trump completely owned and humiliated Rand Paul. I mean, Trump destroyed him. 10 years later, Rand hasn't gotten over the humiliation. He's been voting against Trump no matter what he does ever since. This is what it's really about. I don't know, Cat Turd. I don't think so. Rand is fairly principled on budget stuff, and it is more spending than he'd like to see. Juanita Broderick asks, do you think Congress has any idea how pissed off we are? I don't think so. Nick Adams says, money is taxed when we're paid. Money is taxed when it's invested, taxed when it's spent, taxed when it's inherited. Property purchased with the tax money is then taxed again every single year. The founding fathers would not support this level of taxation. I agree. Clint Russell usually has some good takes. He says, Elon Musk, here you go, from a couple days ago. You're pissed right now, and you should be. You risked a lot to get stonewalled by the swamp. Instead of waiting for the general, you could revolutionize the GOP by mass funding primary challengers to every GOP member who voted for this atrocious spending bill. According to Grok estimates, it would likely cost less than $500 million to match the funding of every GOP incumbent in both the House and Senate. If targeted intelligently, I think you could add 50 new Thomas Masseys. I realize that's a lot of money, but if you truly want to reform the system and stave off national default, this just might work. Keep up the fight. Ireland is on the brink of becoming the first country in Europe to immigration. The government and police are struggling to maintain order in major cities, and as protests and acts of civil disobedience escalate, the Irish have had enough.
Fucking hell, that shit.
There's Ireland. Now let's see if YouTube flags me on this one. Tens of thousands of Irish coming out in Cork. There's 6 minutes of tricolors that are absolutely beautiful. To this real news that they read. Ireland rises. Ireland then victim of the forced colonization of the Obama doctrine, and they're pushing back. They're not having it. In your country, Ireland. Here's drone footage. These are the people out as the Irish people take to the streets of Cork today, reminding the government that Ireland cannot be conquered. Well, they're certainly trying. The world is watching. Connie Robinson posts this. Tanks have get them out, ring around Cork as the Irish hit back against the migrant invasion of their country. Get them out.
We have battles ahead of us. But Andy Cork, I presume you're here today in the green, white and gold, the spiritual significance of it. Protestants, what's enemy coming?
So they're doing that. All right, let's listen to this real quick, Simone Biles, because this really upset me today.
Biles decided to go to war with Riley Gaines on X yesterday. I'm not sure why she doesn't tweet much, but she did.
What did she say? Well, she went on a tear. She called Riley sick for advocating for the protection of women's sports. And then Simone goes on to say that Riley should be advocating for a third category for trans people so they can feel safe in sports. Simone, just know, women are not responsible for making men feel safe in women's sports. Women are not responsible for validating male identities, especially not the ones who think they are women. Those men can compete in men's like all the other men.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why men's gymnastics events are different than women's, right? There's rings, there's pommel horse, because men have greater upper body strength. They are stronger. That's why there's separate categories. Then Simone goes on to body shame Riley, which is really a low point. Nice supportive women, Simone. Riley is a perfectly normal sized woman at about 5'5". Yes, she is short for a swimmer, at least for an actual female swimmer, unlike Will Thomas, a man who is well over 6 feet tall. Look, I was a gymnast, not a bad one, not a great one. I was a 7-time national team member and the 86 national champion. No candle to your achievements. Certainly, you are the GOAT. There is no doubt about that. I was the first elite gymnast to speak out about abuse in the sport way before it was safe, back in 2008, and the entire community turned on me. So I am grateful for your voice on this matter. And I've heard Riley defend you over and over as the GOAT when others have torn you down, despite the fact that you don't have the same politics, because Riley is an honest broker and a good person. I have defended you time and again for bailing at the Olympics, and you know why? Because I felt it was a bookend to Carrie Strug competing on a serious injury in '96, and I felt it was important that female athletes take control of their own bodies for their own safety. I've had the twisties. I know what it's like. But you know what? You are no hero. You are pulling up the ladder for the female athletes that came after you. And since you made it personal and nasty with Riley, I am going to say it. Why didn't you stand up for Rachel Den Hollander and Jamie Dancher when they first spoke up about Nassar? They got torn to shreds. They were demonized as liars and grifters, and you said nothing. You waited. You waited until it was safe. You didn't say anything publicly until after Nassar was sentenced. You let hundreds of girls twist in the wind. Look, I don't think anyone has to come forward about abuse until they are ready. But if you're going to tear my friend Riley down for standing up for women, for their right to compete safely, then I am going to raise it. You let those women get torn apart, those other gymnasts. You could have stopped the bullying instantly with your credibility as a world champion and Olympian, but you didn't do it. You let those women get destroyed. So you may be the GOAT as a gymnast, but you are no hero. Not to me. Not anymore.
Yep. Out. Pole vaulting. Yeah, there's a good pole vaulting joke in there somewhere. That's for sure. All right. Yeah, this whole Simone Biles thing has just been terrible. Simone Biles attacked Riley Gaines and compared her to a man, and now Community Notes on X calls Simone Biles transphobic for tying height and weight to gender. She says, bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male, Riley Gaines. Average woman, 5'4", 170. Average man, 5'9", 199. Gaines is tall, but that doesn't mean more consistent with male. Biles claims tying height, weight to gender is wrong and transphobic, harming trans women. Oh, that's hilarious. She says, you're truly sick. All this campaigning because you lost a race? Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community, or perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive, or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category. Or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a trans category in all sports. But instead, you bully them. One thing's for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. It's madness. Absolute madness. John Root says, tonight, Simone Biles became the second most woke female athlete of all time, only behind Megan Rapinoe. Unapologetically defending men and women's sports shows she never really recovered from the twisties. What an absolute clown. Yeah, there is a category for men. It's called the men's category. If a bunch of men who decide to present themselves and live their life as closely aligned as women as possible want to start a new league, nobody should stop them from doing so. It's not our responsibility to bend over backward and accommodate for gender dysphoria disorder in the realm of sports. If there was no need to separate men from women, we would have never separated men from women. Water is wet. Breaking news. Beep, 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 beep. We all know this. And acting like it's not like completely obvious is disingenuous and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Simone Biles was bullied about her muscles to the point where she had to do a body positivity ad campaign. And then she has the nerve to say Riley Gaines looks like a man. Here it says, it doesn't matter what others say. It's my body and it does incredible things. Beauty is no competition. She was bullied for having muscles, so then she bullies someone for having muscles. It's the stupidest shit you've ever seen. Riley Gaines here says all the horrific sexual abuse Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate that man's feelings? You know how many gold medals you'd have if your inclusive dream came true? 0. Riley Gaines ended Simone Biles' whole career just now, exposing her hypocrisy of wanting men and women's sports. Make this viral on X. That's the one I just shared with you. I stand with Riley Gaines. Simone Biles is a quitter and an embarrassment to her country. The whole Riley Gaines versus Simone Biles feud has not only exposed Simone as an anti-woman, but exposed her husband, Jonathan Owens, as a weak leader in their marriage. Men, if your wife is defending men in women's sports, you failed as a leader in your marriage. If Jonathan was leading his wife well, she wouldn't be calling women's sports activists sick and defending the destruction of women's sports. I'm gonna take a step back there for a second. I don't know, going after the dude. He doesn't speak for her, leading her. It's up to her to adopt and put forward rational ideas. You can blame him for marrying someone with irrational ideas, but I think bringing the husband in is I would stop short of doing that. Simone Biles thinks this should be celebrated. Here's this massive dude competing with these little girls. Danielle D'Souza Gill says in 2018, Simone Biles revealed she wore sweaters or jackets all year long due to being bullied because of her muscles. Last night, she attacked Riley Gaines, claiming Riley looks like a male. When the left says they support women, know that it only applies to women who fall in line. So this was because Olympic gymnast Simone Biles had a meltdown after Riley Gaines criticized Minnesota for allowing a boy to take a high school girls softball team to the state title. Biles accused Gaines of looking like a man as she argued in favor of men and women's sports. What a clown. Yeah, Kash Patel told Rogan there's no footage of what you want from Epstein Island, claiming if people were committing felonies, we would have seen it. But Pam Bondi told our source there are tens of thousands of videos and it's all with little kids. Who's lying? Who's lying? Marjorie Taylor Greene saying America's sitting on $200 trillion in assets and $36 trillion in debt. It's time we act like the richest nation on earth. With an American sovereign wealth fund, we can pay off our debt, save Social Security, end taxes, and actually start paying the American people. I've talked to President Trump and Speaker Johnson about this, and I'm going to keep pushing it. We don't need more drama. We need real solutions, and this is how we save our country. And here it is. Clay Travis, a male softball pitcher, pitched a shutout for his women's softball team to lead them to a state title today in Minnesota. He was also named to the all-tournament team. Men rule. Congrats for celebrating this and making it happen, Governor Tim Walz. So absurd. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I think I got my point across. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your Saturday. I appreciate everyone for being on this journey with me. It was a fun show. I vented a little bit. We had fun. We laughed. And then Maggie cried. She's such a trooper. But it was a good show. I appreciate you all for participating. I'll be back on Monday with another humdinger. And I look forward to it then. Once again, we're in all these places that are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. The New American Media is on Instagram, Facebook, True Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, D Live, and YouTube, The New American Media. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're on X at American_media_. And Spotify and Apple, our podcast is the Agree to Disagree Show. Also, donation links on Patreon at The New American Media, Venmo and Cash App at Brian Engelman, PayPal at Fuzz Installment, all scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Yes, is Cash lying or is Bondi lying? I don't know. I don't know. But yes, thank you to everybody for being a part of the program. I've been chastised that I need to listen to this entire Kash Patel interview. I'm just like, I'm so annoyed by it. It's going to make my blood boil. I'm yelling out when I'm watching the clips, and this guy's like, no, you got to watch the whole video. You can't just do the Democrat lazy thing and just watch clips. Dude, I've been following Kash since he got nominated. What am I missing here? Either Kash is lying or Pam Bondi's lying. And I don't like any of it. I certainly don't want to sit and listen to any more of it. But I digress. We'll get back to more of that a little bit later. Until then, I will sign out. I'll see you Monday. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.